Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Circuit of the Americas here in Austin, Texas, USA. And the lights are coming on, and we are underway for the F1 tonight. USA Grand Prix, they are off, and a good start from both Ferraris, but look at that, with already getting right in the middle of the two. Trying to pull through as they're coming into turn one. Will he be able to hold that?
Collision.
Look at this collision here with the Williams, the McLaren. My goodness me, Nicky Visser. And look at this, Nicky Visser has moved up 10 places. He's up to P6.
Blimey. 10 places up 2 corners.
That was one corner. That was absolutely amazing. There was a huge pile up there. I think maybe some damage. Rob Mulder is in fact out. Rob Mulder is out. Nicky Visser is in third place. Seb Bogart now coming round.
After 2 races not being able to drive and coming back this way, it's just amazing.
It is. He's coming round turn 15 now on the final sector 3, round 16, 17, Hayden Hill dropping down now to turn 19, the penultimate turn. Round turn 20 now, onto the start-finish straight, and Seb Bogart
well done.
takes the win. Williams is second, Nicky Visser coming round now, turn 11. He's a quarter of a lap behind these front 2 runners, but he will be more than happy, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Picking up these points here this evening
Very
for
solid drive.
that third place, because I have to say that was an absolutely phenomenal drive from him. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to F1 tonight. And we are here for, well, season 5, race 18. But more importantly, this is, as you can see at the top of the page there, the 100th race for F1 tonight. And, well, what a time to be having this race happening. Let's go through the Drivers' Championship as they stand at this moment in time. So, leading the way is Seb Bogart for Haas on 261 points. Damie Hartman is still in second, but he's a long way behind. He's on 209 points. Baz de Breen is third on 181. Nicky Visser is fourth on 146. John Donkel, he's fifth on 133. Up one from 7 to 6 is Marcel Dronig for Haas on 93 points. Up one from 8 is Hans van der Berg for Williams. Then we have Mark Schnappers up one from 9. for Sauber. Then the surprise up 3 for Guido Urshan for Force India from 12 to 9. Zander Hermans stays at 10. 11 is Peter Phillips. Up 1 is Boy Williamson to 12. Up 2 is Martin Pardercooper for Ferrari up to 13. Marco Pullen stays at 14. Jamie Collane is up 1 to 15. Marcel France up 1 to 16. And Miguel Tourney up 1 to 17. Now, I don't believe that I have my commentator on board as yet. No, not as yet. So he will be joining us shortly. Unfortunately, he's doing an update at the moment, so not able to bounce around at this moment with the Drivers' Championship, but you can see it is looking fierce. Only 28 points dividing Bas Breen from that second place from Damie Hartman, but 52 points for Damie Hartman to get to Seb Bogart. Can he rise to the challenge? Can he take the fight to Haas and win this championship this season? Well, we only have 4 races remaining to find that out, and tonight is one of those 4. But let's go on to the Constructors' Championship. So leading the way are Haas on 354 points. Second is Renault. They are currently on 314 points. Third is Ferrari on 251. Then we have fourth, Sauber on 195. Mercedes are fifth on 189 points. Then we have Toro Rosso, 6th. Force India, 7th. Williams are 8. McLaren, 9. And Red Bull bringing out the rear in P10, or rather, they are in the Constructors. So let's have a look at the track. Circuit of the Americas, Austin, Texas. And circuit length 5.13 kilometers, or 426 miles. Then we have race length 308.405 kilometers, or 191.634 miles, and 56 laps. Sector 1 takes from the start finish to just after turn 7. Sector 2 then takes us between turn 12 and 13, and then obviously sector 3 on the start finish line. 2 DRS zones. DRS detection zone for 1 is between 10 and 11, with the actual activation down that long straight between 11 and 12. Second detection point is just before turn 19, and then that brings us on the start finish straight just as they go up the hill towards turn 1, the wall. And I'm now joined by my co-commentator Adrian. Good evening, Adrian. Adrian, unmute your mic. Well, he was there, and now he's here. Oh, well, we will soon find out what happens. But anyway, let's get to the action. So we join the guys in Q1, 11 minutes remaining. Let's run through the runners and riders. We've got 15 drivers participating this evening. We do not have Martin Pardercooper for Ferrari or Miguel Tourney for Red Bull. They're currently suffering a race ban. Jamie Collane won't be able to attend, nor will Miguel Tourney. So that's Jamie Collane for McLaren and Miguel Tourney for Red Bull. We do, however, have a new driver. So welcome to our new Sauber driver, and that's Nico Mahadwa Singh. And he's had to disqualify himself, as he'll be starting at the rear of the pack, as it is his rookie race. So Damie Hartman is currently leading in this queue. He's done a 1:47.341. So let's have a look at that data and see what he's running with. So everyone's running on the intermediates. Interesting, because it is a wet track. Ooh, wet quali. That's certainly going to make things interesting, that's for sure. Seb Bogart just takes that position away now from Damie. Clocks in a 147.310, so only 3 hundredths off Seb Bogart's time there, Damie Hartman. Guido Airshine, he's currently third, 147.8. Hans van der Berg for Williams. He's currently fourth, 148.3. Sander Hermans, 148.5 for Toro Rosso. Marcel Dronig is 6, 150.7. Mark Stappers for Sauber, 150.8. Still to go, Peter Phillips, Baz de Breen, Nicky Visser, John Dunkel. So tricky conditions here at this moment in time. Quite a tricky track, obviously. That sector 1 certainly is, as you come up the start-finish straight to that turn 1, the wall, and it is literally a wall when you're looking at it. It rises very high indeed. You then drop down into the winding section of sector 1 into turns 2, and then the ones that really get you is 3, 4, 5. Then as you come out of sector 1 at the beginning of sector 2, you've got turns 7, 8, and 9, and then that hard uphill left turn into 10. Then you drop down to the almost hairpin of turn 11, where you pick up then the second DRS as you get along that straight. Then hard left downhill into turn 12, through the chicane section of the final sector between turns 13 and 16. And as you wind up around turn 17, 18, Hayden Hill, you can see the big tower on the right-hand side there. You wind down towards turn 19, that's your second detection zone, hard right, turn 19, and then that real hard near, not quite but hairpin, but certainly turn 20, catches you out if you're not careful, and then you start all over again. Good evening, Adrian. I take it the update has finally taken course.
Yeah, it seems to be 2 updates back to back. Sorry, I'm late. I have been watching the stream since the beginning, so it's not like I haven't been doing my homework.
You've just been too preoccupied with your green lightning dive, haven't you?
I have, yeah. Yeah. yeah, I'm not going to say about it. Anyway. But great stream so far, I have to say.
That's okay. It's always better when you're not here. I mean, yes, it's always better once you arrive, Adrian. Well, we're in Q1, obviously not a full field this evening. We do have 15 drivers. We've got a new driver, Nico Mahadwa Singh, in the Sauber. So it's going to be interesting to see how he performs on his rookie race and what a track to pick. We do have obviously a damp quali, but I am assured that we will be looking at a dry race. So if quali goes all the way through to Q3 under these conditions, it's going to make it very interesting indeed, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah. I do like mixed variable weather in the actual race. But yeah, I mean, yeah, we've got work that quali, and yeah, the race should be good, dry or not. It's USA is very quick track. It replicates some other sectors actually. The first sector is very much like the magazine bag. It's complex.
Yeah. There's a bit of a cross between that and Japan actually. Yeah. Sector 1.
Yeah, it's one of my
And,
favourite sectors of any circuit, actually, sector 1 here, USA.
well, it's one that I know is something that I often refer to, but it is very true. It's getting the rhythm of the track, and you know, Singapore is definitely one of those tracks. Japan is another one, and this is another one as well, because you need to get the rhythm of the track to see you through that first sector, but also the third sector as well.
Yeah, first sector can catch you out. You know, you think you're on an absolute blinding lap, and then for me it's always the turn before last. Often end up cutting it on the left-hand side and invalidating the lap, or drifting wide, getting some sort of marbles on the tyres, and it just ruins the final corner.
Yeah, turn 19 is certainly very, very tricky indeed. John Donkel moves himself up to P7. So I think he's going to be happy with that. And yeah, Peter Phillips goes off the track there, trying to get back on. He's got quite a lot of dirt on those tyres at this moment in time, so that isn't going to make life easy for him. But he's underway now. Rejoins the track safely. As he
Don't go there. Don't go there.
Don't go there. Don't go there. As he comes up to turn 10 in the sector 2, just trying to get that scrub some of that dirt and debris off his tyres, give him the opportunity to actually get some grip on his intermediates. Now, turn 11 is, I've got to say, I'm going to be a bit of a nerd here, Adrian. Doesn't often happen, so I might as well make the most out of it. Turn 11, there are varying schools of thought as to how to approach and execute turn 11.
Remind me, Eddie, turn 11 is the long right-hander?
It's the one as you come the right-hander before you go into the first DRS zone, so on that long sort of straight as you climb up the hill. It's that one as you drop down the hill from turn 10, and then you've got almost like that hairpin of 11.
Yeah, I know the one well. Yeah, it's a difficult one to get right. It's I find it can make or break your lap occasionally. Yeah, when you do get it right, I mean that's where I've actually gained a lot of my time is on that turn, and then subsequently lose it on the next lap because I can't do it back to back.
Indeed. Well, while I've got your attention, sorry, I nearly forgot. I didn't want to cut there, but we got a statement from Jonah Donkel, so I'd like to read that out now while we have the opportunity. And we've got a couple of minutes remaining of this queue. Everyone will be going through to the next queue anyway. So this is Jonah's statement. On behalf of myself, the board, and all of the F1 Tonight members, I want to thank everyone very much for their dedication to this club. There would not be any F1 Tonight without you all. In addition, our two master broadcasters are essential to give everyone the feeling that we do everything live. The dedication they have and give is more true than any race itself. We also thank all people who watch the race, live or not. F1 Tonight will always continue to work towards a greater reach of members and people who want to manifest themselves in the eSports series. We hope everyone has fun in the game that we play, and we will always try to convey the real feeling of F1 and bring it closer to home as well as we can do it. We're also grateful to Synergy for their cooperation, and also with F1 Tonight UK, in which a number of Synergy participants will race, and thus also give F1 Tonight a new name in the UK. We are really looking forward to the new season, but for now, it's first to the finish, season 5, with all the excitement it brings. The top is close together, and the sub-top is only a short distance behind this. This can only be seen with the constructors, where the differences are very, very small. We'd also like to thank everyone who's further down the field. The grid consists of 20 participants, and the number 20 is just as important as the number 1 for F1 Tonight. On behalf of Jonah Donkel, thank you very much, and on to race 200, and hopefully much, much more to follow.
Yeah, brilliant, Ian. Well said there, Eddie. Yeah, I just want to add as well. Actually, yeah, really appreciate the kind comments from John Donkel about our our commentary. Actually, that's yeah, it's
Yeah,
very much
it was rather
much appreciated.
heartfelt. I must say, I was going to comment on that, and I knew that you would also, bring that up. But absolutely, thanks very much, Jonah, and thanks for everyone that is watching. We have quite a number of regular participants. We are regularly hitting the mid 100s, and we want to promote this and get even more people watching and participating. I think a lot of people, though, Adrian, unless you're actually a sim racer yourself, you can't appreciate how close to reality it can be at times.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree there. It's yeah, it's tricky. It's you have to sort of give it as much effort as they do in real life. And I have to say, it is I've been a commentator here for a season and a half, coming up for 2 seasons, and yeah, it's been a real privilege and an honour to be here. And I really enjoy it, and long may it continue. As you say, on to 200.
Indeed, it is an absolute blast, I have to say. And yeah, I thoroughly enjoy it. I know Adrian thoroughly enjoys it. I think we have a good bit of banter, but the racing as well is superb. Last week was, well, amazing. For those of you that are motorsports fans or sim racing fans, we started, what would we start? Field of 17?
Field of 18.
18,
wasn't,
and we finished with 5. If you think that the real world F1 has, how can I put it, no suspense to it, no danger to it, and no drama to it, then you definitely ought to tune into sim racing, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's become somewhat processional, hasn't it? They keep saying about modern day F1, real life F1, but yeah, none of that in this league. Everyone here has an equal chance of winning races. Of course, they're based on equal cars, which is a big factor into the closeness of the racing. Lots of these drivers are very tight in terms of their sort of skill levels.
Yeah, absolutely. Very tight indeed, and you can sell that by the championship table. I mean, 28 points separating third from second, 13 points between fifth and fourth, 8 points between 8 and 7, and as you go down the field, 4, 6, 2. I mean, there's a lot of points there, a lot of movement still in this drivers' championship that can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. There's various battles that, as you just pointed out, there going on between the drivers in the different positions. It's not all about the number one spot for a lot of the drivers. And yeah, I think we're going to see those battles unfold here in this very race.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right here. I'm just going to go on board with Damie Hartman. Seb Bogart is leading the way, and he's just coming towards the end of his outlap. Damie Hartman is the next man behind him, and this is important. So I'm going to stay on board with Damie for his qualifying lap. So I think that might well prove interesting. I'm sure you can give us the stats for Seb as he goes round. So Damie Hartman coming round turn 20 now. And let's go on board. You can see what I mean by the wall. If you look at it from the driver's perspective, I mean, this is a massive hill that they're climbing here, isn't it, into turn 1?
Yeah, it's huge. It's something like about 120 feet. It's yeah, I don't think you get the full perspective of it in the game. But if you ever get the opportunity to sort of stand at the foot of the hill and look up, it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it adds to the racing as well. The drive to racing is pretty much later than they would do if it was just a flat surface.
Oh yeah, and that certainly is reflected when you see turn 1 and the drivers going into it, especially on the opening laps.
Yeah.
So we're on board with Damie Hartman now. He's on the DRS approaching turn 12, just about to come out of sector 2. Now into sector 3. It's so tricky, these set of corners. I must admit, I love these set of corners because I can get the sweet spot on these ones. But the one I hate is the one he's just coming up to now, turn 17. Because you get that, you've got to be millimetre perfect to lay down that power and maintain that line through there. You make one little mistake and it ruins the end of the sector.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's, and also as the race progresses, the fuel load changes, the grip remaining on the tyres changes. Yeah, you have to adapt. And as I was talking there, Visser and Vogel have just gone 1 and 2. They were both looking very quick in their first and second sector times. And obviously, yeah, that's shown here. 34.7. That's a good start.
Nicky Visser for Mercedes.
The Breen is quick as well. Sorry, yeah, the
driver,
Breen is really quick,
certainly.
but on the top of the head.
So at this moment in time, Nicky Visser is leading the way with a 1:34.7. But we'll cut to Baz the Breen now.
Jamie Hartman, purple first.
Comes round the final set of corners. And this is looking good. 1:34.8 puts him into provisional second place. So he'll be happy with that. So that puts him alongside Nicky Visser in this Q2. Seb Bogart drops down to 3. Hans van der Berg. And Hans van der Berg is back up there, isn't he, Adrian?
Yep, he's back where he belongs in my eyes. And it's a good start at the moment. I'm just seeing a couple of purple sectors flying around here. Jamie Hartman just got purple second sector. And Sander Herman is purple in the first as well. See what his second sector time is like. It's going to be one to watch. He's normally good in quality, Sanders.
Yeah, that is very true.
Purple second as well from Sander.
So Sander Hermans is on a blast here. Coming round turn 16 into 17 now. Round Hayden Hill. Down into 19. Oh, this is looking really fast, isn't it? This is looking very fast indeed.
It is.
Oh, 1:34.1. And Sander Hermans in the Toro Rosso takes provisional first here in this Q2. Blinding lap there from Sander Hermans, Adrian.
Absolutely brilliant lap. Hans van der Berg has well just gone faster than Damie. His P2, 34.5, 34.6 almost.
Oh, this is very interesting indeed, because everyone's on the super soft compound. The only one that isn't actually is Peter Phillips. He's on the ultra softs. And John Donkel as well. John Donkel's just come out on the ultra softs as well. So this is going to be interesting. Obviously, one place will be lost. So we've got 11 drivers in this moment. 10 will go through to Q3. That means one will be dropped. So the question is, who is it going to be? But Sander Hermans sets a fantastic opening lap there. Let's go on board now with Jonah Donkel. And let's see what John can do. He's on his outlap at this moment in time. So he's winding up, getting ready. He comes around 16 into 17 now. Round Hayden Hill. And that's named after the famous NASCAR driver who unfortunately lost his life. And that's just... as you come round the towers on your right hand side, as you come round that turn 18. So Jonah Donkel now on his fast lap. What do you think, Adrian? Do you think Jonah's got a chance of getting up into that top 5?
Oh, I'd have to say yes. He's certainly got a chance. He's on the faster tyre. He is certainly not the slowest driver in this league, absolutely not. He has won races. He is more than capable of taking pole. Purple first sector 25.2 from John. That is 0.2 faster than anyone else, I believe. I'll just check that against Sander. What, a 10.5 faster.
Wow. Oh, that's pretty good going, but it can all be very easily lost here as he comes down to turn 12 and we're going into the final sector 3. Starts it now.
Purple second sector as well. That's another two. That's another 2 tenths.
Wow. Comes around turn 17 now. Into 18, Hayden Hill. Drops down 19, nicely taken there. He's lost no time there. He is really setting the pace here. This could be very good indeed. Yeah, 133.3. Fantastic. Smashes the opposition. Zander Hermans, 8 tenths. Adrian, that is awesome.
Yeah, brilliant lap from John. Not sure he even needed to push quite so hard, to be honest. 8 tenths is a considerable gap, and bear in mind this is only Q2 as well, so this does not mean that they will be starting in pole position. There's still Q3 to play.
Indeed. Well, Mark Stappers, Guido Ershine still to set time. We're on board now with Mark Stappers. He comes out of 11, approaching 12, hits that DRS. There it is. That wing should be fully open. And there you see it on the back of the car. Comes into turn 12 now.
25.5 in the first sector compared to Sander Herman's 25.4, just a tenth down.
Yeah, just down a slight bit, but as we said before, and I know we haven't mentioned it for a while, but Mark Stappers keeps it real, cockpit view, and absolutely no assists at all, which for any of you that do race these 2018 F1 cars will know that you'll be scratching your heads, the vast majority of you. There will be some of you that will be smiling wryly, but the vast majority, I can assure you, will be scratching their heads thinking, how the hell? Mark Stappers gets up to P7 with a 134.7, so that's respectable.
Yeah, decent time. A little big lock up into 1 actually at the end of that lap.
It was a bit. So Guido Ershine, or Ershine, sorry, coming round now as he starts round final turn there, and this is looking
really
good as
good
well.
lap.
I have to say, really good lap. 134.111. Oh, puts him up in the provisional second in this Q2. But great run there from Guido Ershine.
Yeah, that's really going to bring a smile to his face. You know, just knowing that he's got that pace on the super soft tyre as well. Yeah, that he's matching the other front runners on that same tyre. So yeah, to play Pete Phillips as well. He's jumped up to P4.
Indeed, and Seb Bogart now is coming round, but he's got Marco Pulinetti moves aside. Or was that Guido Ershine? No, that was Guido, wasn't it? Marco's not in, so he'll be starting in the back grid. So, and I've got to say, Bogart looks as if he is on a mission here.
Yeah, you don't often see him at risk of...
John Dunkel, 133.3. As we saw earlier, can he beat that though, do you think? Can he beat that 133.3? His teammate there, Marcel Dronig, you think you'd give him a toe there?
That's Debris in the runner ahead of me.
Sorry, Debris is ahead of him, yeah. But I don't think he's going to impede him at all.
Purple second sector from Bogart on the super soft tyre. First sector was good, but not the best. This could definitely kind of put him top 2.
Comes around the penultimate turn now. Ooh, he's off there. I think he's lost a bit of time on that turn 19. Into 20 though, but as you say, respect, because he is on the super soft. Remember, John Dunkel set it on the ultra soft, but he looks at that, he beats it! A 133.211, and that's on the super softs. Absolutely. I mean, I'm saying they're blinding laps, so they're getting, obviously, as the cube progresses on, those lap times are dropping, aren't they, Adrian?
Yeah, it's really, really coming down, and probably also coming down is the morale of the other drivers. They see that lap that he's just set there on the harder compound.
Jonah Dunkel has decided to jump out the session. He's happy with that time, and as you say, these times are dropping now. But this is the man that's in danger, Marcel Dronig, and he needs to pull his finger out, doesn't he? He's not too far behind. He's on a 135.1. He's 3 tenths behind Baz Debrin as it stands at this moment. But what we're going to do?
And he's also 3 tenths up on his personal best in that first sector. Nicky Visser's just gone top, sorry.
Look at that, Nicky Visser with a 133, sorry, a 132.927. So those times are definitely dropping. Marcel Dronig, as I say, though, he's still in that drop zone. Now, that's going to be interesting because if he pushes up, also Baz de Breen's going to need to push up because he would be in that drop zone then.
I don't think he's going to be in the drop zone very long. He's got a purple first sector, very good second sector. This is easily top 2.
Well, Marcel Dronig now.
Stappers is going to be at risk of dropping out.
Well, Marcel Dronig coming round now.
Good lap from
good lap from him. Baz de Breen goes second though. Look at that. So Baz de Breen provisional second, 133.0. Seb Bogart a 133.2. John Donkel 133.3 drops down to 4, but it no matter because he gets through to the final queue. Stappers is now the man, as you rightly said, that's in that drop zone.
Yeah, and it's not an improvement in this first sector as well. I think he might have left it too little, too late.
Adrian, can you just mute and check your con because we've got a crackle situation.
No problem.
So Mark Stappers, he really needs to get a move on now. This is his final opportunity. Locks, oh dearie me, as he's coming round 14 there. Winds it up round 16, lining himself up now, round 17. He really needs to get this moving. Around the penultimate turn, 19 now. Oh, goes off the track. I think he's invalidated there. We will see. No, 134.1. And that puts Peter Phillips in the drop zone. So Peter Phillips, and he's out. So Peter Phillips will be starting P11 for Toro Rosso.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. He had a really good lap, didn't he, earlier on?
Yeah.
30, well, we thought it was a good lap, 34.4, 34.5. And yeah,
well, look where Zander Herman's ended up. We were bigging up that, and don't get me wrong, it was a quality lap, but he's ended up in P10 with about 134.1.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it just goes to show how much the track improves now over time as the rubber gets laid down and the drivers are able to go faster and faster.
Absolutely, it's a classic example of how that actually works, really, because we said 134.1 and we were thinking, yeah, that's fantastic, and then there you go.
Yeah, it's the track evolution for you. Impressive lap from Nicky, actually. That 32.927 and on the super soft tyre. So yeah, not quite so demoralising that Bogard went at 33.2. You know, we were saying that it's well, to be honest, I thought that was pretty much unbeatable. Bearing in mind he's on that hard tyre, but no, we've got 3 drivers ahead of him, also done the same thing. Although Damie's on the Ultra. Damie is on the Ultra.
He is on the Ultras, so he's going to really he needs to get in that front row minimum, really, doesn't he, with those Ultras?
Yep, absolutely. He needs to be front row and have a good start and allow himself to sort of pull ahead early on.
Well, he certainly needs. I mean, look, this championship at this moment, we're on race 18, 4 races, including this one. He's currently 52 points off the championship leader as stands, Seb Bogart. I mean, that's 2 wins, and he's going to have to hope that Seb Bogart doesn't place well either. His time is short. He really does need to get a move on. And surely now this race and obviously next week at Mexico, those are critical races for him.
Absolutely, yeah. Every lap in his eyes is going to be critical for him. He's going to be hoping that Bogart crashes out, because it's not going to be, even if Hartman does manage to win all 4 of these races, he'll need something drastic to happen to Bogart to give himself a chance of taking it.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, well, that is Q2 done, as we can see there. P11 will be Peter Phillips. So he will be in that row 6. We haven't determined as yet who'll be alongside him. But Nicky Visser with that 132.9, very impressive indeed. But then we've got Damie Hartman, only, 700ths off the back of him. So they're fast. But Baz de Breen, Seb Bogart, they're both hovering around the 133 mark. So it is really close between those top 5 as it stands at this moment in time. Only 4/10 dividing 1st and 5th.
Yeah, quite right. Yeah, 4/10. But even though you have got drivers on the different tyres there, it's it bodes well for some close racing between those tyre compounds.
Indeed. So Q3, 12 minutes, and this will decide the final positions. Everybody, unsurprisingly, on the Ultra Softs. Who's going to be the first man out on track? And normally a bit quicker than this. They're a bit hesitant there. So it looks like Seb Bogart, I think. Unsurprisingly. So he comes out onto the track. Getting ready to wind up in the field for this first sector. He's winding corners, coming into the second sector, finishing off the snake corners into 10 now, drops down the hill towards turn 11. Just need to see what his approach is. So he approaches on the far right, cuts the apex, nicely done. I've got to say, that's the way I would do it, although I do see a lot of drivers going more for a later turn after the apex. Coming down now to turn 12. Hard left, deceiving. You've got to really bring down the speed into that corner. Winding it up now. Round the final sector turns. Under the bridge, round 17. Round 18, Hayden Hill coming down to turn 19. Final turn now, and he'll be starting his fast lap. So let's go on board for that one. What do you think, Adrian? Are we going to see you're going to see him break the 133, get down into those 132s?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, we saw some 132s in Q2 just now, didn't we, with the super soft tyre. Sort of 2 or 3 drivers get under that mark. So yeah, certainly. I mean, we may get sort of very low 132s as well. Dare I say, into the 131s.
I think we're definitely going to see a 131 in that front row, without any doubt. And it's probably going to be a low 131 as well, I think. So it comes around 11 now. Beautifully done, I've got to say. Hits that apex. Nice bit of straight line now. Doesn't want to move that steering wheel too much. Minimum turns.
We've got 3 tenths faster than anyone so far in the first sector.
And he is absolutely driving this perfectly, I have to say. Fantastic line there.
That's the thing, isn't it, from both? I always see him start so well. That first step, lots of drivers sort of take a couple of laps to sort of find their groove. Yeah, Bogart's normally sort of top right. Really,
he's lost some time there on that final turn, I think. 132.045. Well, if that doesn't say we're going to see 131s, I don't know what does.
32.8 from Guido.
So Guido Airshine, a little bit off that mark. He's on a 132.8. Baz de Breen drops in with a 132.2. Mark Stapper's 134.6. Zander Hermans 133.0. So we've seen this from Zander Hermans though. He's normally now, up in those sort of first 3 rows, isn't he?
He is. Yeah, he is. He's really good in quality. I've just seen Vista do 1:31.792.
Oh my goodness, look at that. Nicky Visser opens up with a 1:31.7. I tell you what, we are definitely going to see a low 1:31 here, I think.
Yeah, I was a little bit sceptical when you said that a moment ago. I thought it might have been 31.9 was the whole time, but we're already seeing times faster than that. He's also the first driver to do the last sector in under 30 seconds.
Wow. I think we're likely to see Pole sitting around about this 1:31. 1:31.2, 1:31.3 actually.
Yeah, it could well be. But who do you think will be on pole?
I knew. See, I led you into that so beautifully, didn't I? It was honestly. I've got to say, it is a tough call. It always is a tough call. I don't like to go for the obvious, but I'm going to have to go with Nicky Visser.
Good call.
Yeah,
good call.
I was looking at Bogart because I thought let's call it properly this time, but it's not to say that I don't before. It's a bit of hope thrown in there as well. But realistically, yeah, I think it's got to be between Visser and Bogart, and I think Visser may well have the edge.
Yeah, I can definitely see that happening. But I am actually going to go with the obvious one, perhaps not obvious, but yes, Bogart. I don't normally go for him, just because I'd like to see underdogs take pole position and win races. But yeah, I think Seb's just going to knock out the park here, get his head down, and probably win the race as well. To be fair.
Well, it's very likely to. I mean, the way he's been performing recently, it's been pretty impressive. We're on board with Hans van der Berg, and he's currently in P6. Qualifying isn't necessarily his strongest point, is it, Adrian?
It's not, no, but he does tend to do very, very well in the races, especially the sort of first half of races. As I said, he's one of those drivers who does push for very long periods of time, rightly or wrongly. So yeah, I mean, as long as he can have if he can have a quite sort of clean first quarter of the race, perhaps up to the first pit stop. But by clean, I just mean sort of clean air in front of him, not having to sort of fight other drivers on track. Then I think he can finish well. I can certainly see a podium for Hans van der Berg.
Well, he certainly has been improving without any doubt through the course of this season. He's definitely going to be one to watch in season 6. Very gingerly round that turn there, but look at this, a 1:32.5. That's respectable, got to say. Puts him third row, P5.
Yeah, decent time there. Decent time. He's actually not too far off Nicky Visser's final sector. Actually, I said that he was only one under 30 seconds. No, good for that. I think there's probably more to come. I think he's got time to come in, maybe use another set of tyres, and just give it one more shot.
Guido Ershine currently on his outlap. We'll catch up with him in a minute. John Dunkel still in the pits. He's currently sitting P7. So that's row 4 along Zander Hermans, who's out on track. So quite a number of outlaps, only just under 4 minutes remaining. So these guys really probably only got a couple of laps left in them, really.
Yeah, I just thought so. Damien Hartman's invalidated his first sector. I think he did not want to do that. This was his hot lap.
Yeah, well, he's got 3:30.
Sorry, Damien's still in mode 5. He's got nothing in the ERS. He's not going to have enough to do another lap. He must be coming in this lap. I think he's just about got time then. Going to be cutting it fine, Damien.
Well, he's in sector 3. So what? Come in, fresh set of boots, and get out.
Yeah, I think that's his plan because he's really rushing to get around to the pit entrance. Well, Bogart purple first sector, by the way, 24.7.
Well, he's just coming down towards turn 12 now.
2 tenths up on Nicky.
Yeah, Damie Hartman is indeed into the pits. He's going to have to move quick, as is Hans van der Berg as well, actually. So, problem is they've got to put him into the garage and then take him out again, haven't they?
Yeah, it's one of my bugbears in this game, actually, because in real life they will just come in, change the tyre and come straight back out. They won't push the car into the garage like they do here, but obviously, you know, that's something for future generations of the game, sure.
Well,
oh, not a good
it's
middle
a
sector.
fix.
Sorry, Eddie, not a good middle sector from Bogart. This is not
no,
going to be cold.
It's not going to be.
Oh, it is! Look at that
oh my
sector.
goodness.
30 seconds.
8/10 faster. 8/10. Well, just over, 8/10. Just managed to squeeze that one out, as you quite rightly say. I didn't expect him to get that pole one, but there you go, Seb Bogart. 1:31.7. Nicky Visser coming round now as well. Now, what can Visser do?
800ths the gap.
800ths? My goodness, we're going to see a sub 131 if he carries that on. Coming around 17 now, into 18, Hayden Hill. Dropped down to 19 now. Nicely done. Good control there into the final turn.
This is going to do it.
He's going to smash it. Oh, 1:31.7. He lost it in those
It's the same time.
corners. Yeah, exactly the same time as Seb Bogart. Damie Hartman is on his outlap now. So Damie Hartman now on his outlap. Coming down to turn 11. He should make, obviously, that turn quite easily. He's got a minute to get to that start-finish line to lay down his fast lap. His ERS, he's pushing it too hard. He needs to ease off on that ERS at the moment. He's going to make it. Just take it easy. He's going to want all of that for the next lap, so don't use it now, Damie. Save it. Comes round 15. Into 16, under the bridge around 17, 18, Hayden Hill.
Dronig in P10 is about to improve his lap. I think he might go P5 on this pace.
So
he's invalidated. He's cut that
lap.
corner I mentioned.
Oh no, so Marcel Dronig will be starting in P10. Damie Hartman now. This is the lap that will determine, I've got to say, whether he's going to win this championship or not. This will be the definitive point for his championship this year, in my opinion. This one single lap. No pressure though, Damie.
Yeah, this is his opportunity now, isn't it? Bogart's mistake. Visser matching his time, and yeah, it's his end opportunity. He's not fastest in the first sector, but he's not far off 1/10.
A bit slow round turn 11 there. Hits the DRS. Wing open.
It's looking to be a 36.9 in the middle sector from Bogart and Visser. Both set the same middle sectors.
He's in that second row, but he needs to be in that first row. He's on those ultra softs. He needs to take full advantage of that launch. And now,
it's the same time from Damie as well.
So he's coming around Hayden Hill now. This is the one now. He's got to crack these corners. Nicely done there. Into the final turn. Lay down that power. Can he break it now? 1:31.8, he stays in that P3 position. Damie Hartman stays in that second row. Alongside him will be Hans van der Berg in the Williams. Row 3 will be Baz Zabreen in P5. Alongside him will be Guido Urshan in P6. Row 4 will be John Donkel. Alongside him in P8 will be Zander Hermans, and finally row 5 Mark Stappers will be P9 and Marcel Dronig in the Haas will be P10. But well, we were both right, Adrian.
What are the chances of that? Both of us calling the
We are both right, because
apparent
not only
choice
did we call both poles when you shouldn't have both poles, but yeah, that was pretty awesome. How do you judge that though? If they got the same time, well, who gets?
The driver that sets the time first gets the position.
Okay,
Bogart set his lap before Vista did.
so that explains that. Nicky Visser's car wiped out, no problem though for the start of the race. So there we have it. So they have Seb Bogart, Nicky Visser, Damien Hartman 3. Hans van der Berg will be alongside Damien Hartman. Then we have Baz de Breen. Alongside him will be Guido Urschen. Then we have John Donkel. Alongside him will be Zander Hermans. Then Mark Stappers and Marcel Dronig. So as we get ready now for the processional lap. So Adrian, time has come to call who we think will be race winner.
Oh dear. Honestly, don't know anymore. With that qualifying session being as close as that, you can't get any closer. It's not physically possible to get any closer. I'm gonna say Damien. I'm gonna say Damien Hartman's gonna win.
Well, he needs to win. That is for sure.
If he doesn't win, I think if he doesn't win here, I don't think he will for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think. Well, I don't know. I think that's. Yeah, I mean, he's gonna want to chase. I've got to say though, yeah, I've got to go with Seb Bogart. I mean, he's starting at the front. He can totally dominate this race. So I think Seb Bogart is going to be the man. I've got to say.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he said, he must be into double figures for the number of wins this season. I haven't looked it up myself, but it must be close.
It must be. It's got to be pretty. Yeah, it's got to be pretty close. So Seb Bogart leads the way. He'll be in P1. Nicky Visser in a Mercedes will be alongside him in P2. Row 3, P3, row 2, P3, Damien Hartman. Alongside him will be Hans van der Berg in the Williams. And we have Baz de Breen, P5. Guido Airshine, P6. John Dunkel will be P7. Sander Hermans alongside him, P8. We have P9, Mark Stappers. P10, Marcel Dronig. We have Peter Phillips in P11. And alongside him will be Nico Mahadra Singh, the rookie driver, starting in P12. A few late arrivals there behind him. So we have Marco Pullen, and he'll be starting in P13. And alongside him will be Boy Williamson, starting in P14. Obviously, no Miguel Torney, no Marcel France, no Jamie Collane, and no Martin Parder-Cooper. So the guys getting ready now on the grid.
Keep an eye on Pullen as well, actually. He hasn't scored points for a very long time, actually. I think, I'm hoping he manages to sort of recover again.
Well, they're ready on the grid. The lights are coming on. And it is a go for F1 Tonight, Season 5, Race 18, the 100th race of F1 Tonight, as they come up to Turn 1. And look at this, Nicky Visser, Seb Bogart fighting it through there. Jamie Hartman trying to sneak through, Baz de Breen up as well.
Spin.
Oh dear, something spinning in the background there, but Seb leads away. Nicky Visser is behind him, Baz de Breen is in third. Jamie Hartman's dropped down to 4. John Donkel has moved up 2 to 5. Hans Vandenberg has dropped down 2 to 6. Oh dearie me, some real midfield action going on there, but Jonah Donkel really pushing here. As they come round turn 9, you can see the guys ahead of him there. He's really putting the pressure here on Damie Hartman, and Damie is in a sandwich, a Renault sandwich at the moment. Hans Vandenberg just behind those guys. Then we have Mark Stappers, Guido Urshan, Boy Williamson's up 5 already to P9. No great surprise there, really, is there?
3 corners in.
Yeah, 3 corners in, he's moved up 5 places. Boy really does like starting at the back. He's got a lot of practice recently because of his schedules, so he's missed Q and started at the back, but I don't think it's done him any bad, has it, really, these past few races doing that?
No, absolutely not. As I said before, I think he relishes it. He really loves fighting at the back. So he seems to, anyway. We're definitely excited to watch.
Well, he's right up close and personal at the moment with Guido Urshan. As they're coming around turn 19, and Urshan pushing his former teammate Marcel Dronig in a hash just ahead. Ooh, very close there.
Wide. That was very wide ahead of him.
So,
5 seconds stop for the new driver, Nico.
So, Nico Mahadra Singh picks up a 5-second stop go. Don't worry about it, Nico. It's your rookie race. It's bound to happen. So no great shakes on that one. Dronig. Well, what's happened here? Dronig is, well, he's dropped back behind Williamson and Urshan now. So Urshan probably, well, got past him, and Williamson obviously took advantage of that as well. So he's now dropped down to P10. Williamson is now 9. Urshan is chasing down Mark Stappers, who goes wide out of 10. Coming down to 11 now. This is going to be close. He is really struggling at the moment.
Three warnings within the space of 1.5 laps.
Urshan now coming past Stappers as they're coming down to turn 12. All side by side, a little bit of contact there. Look at that in the background. Dronig trying to dive in turn 12 there, trying to take advantage of it. Gets ahead of Boy Williamson, did take advantage of it. So Boy Williamson now drops in behind Marcel Dronig.
Yeah, good pass from Dronig.
Well, he saw the opportunity, the door was open, but look at that, he goes wide on the exit 16, manages to recoup back into 17, but now Boy Williamson goes wide round Hayden Hill. So this is really tight here in this midfield at this moment in time.
Tight at the front as well, already. P1 and 2 only 7 tenths apart.
Yeah. Well, this has still got Bogart in view. Baz de Breen 8 tenths behind Visser. Damie Hartman now 7 tenths behind de Breen. John Donkel, he's up close to that for all. Goes wrong there. Oh, dearie me, loses his place to Hans Vandenberg as he goes wide. Vandenberg says thank you very much. I'll RSVP you later, and goes through.
Yep, opportunist there.
Well,
just to capitalise on his mistake. Sorry, seeing a Toro Rosso getting out of shape, just coming out of that twisty section of sector 1.
Could be Sander Hermans because he's up behind his teammate Peter Phillips, who goes wide. Peter Phillips goes wide there.
Oh, very wide. That's unusual. You don't see many cars go off there.
No, I think he just miscalculated it. And there's a real fight going on here between these two.
As it comes down to 12. It's a number of overtakes he's made now against, against very competitive.
Yeah, but look at this. Boy Williamson comes back round that turn there. Beautifully done. I've got to say, they're not easy one to do round 14 and 15. But he gets the move done, gets back round Dronig, moves up to P8. And now he needs to chase down that Force India that's ahead of him, of Urshan's. Urshan obviously needs to claim that place back. He lost again. It's his starts. He has a problem with his starts, doesn't he? Really?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, I've said it a few times, haven't we? Visser is really all over the back of Bogart. He's managed to stay within about a quarter of a second due to well, good ERS management and DRS.
Oh, Nicky Visser is really very, very close indeed. He's got to watch that because you can lose some serious downforce when you're close in, especially when you're coming to the, say, well, down here into turn 11. You don't want to be too close. You want to be close, but not too
That's
close.
Right. See how he fares down the long straight.
Hits the apex much harder, takes really cuts it, whereas Bogart actually tips it. And he made up some time there. He's got the DRS. I don't think he can use anything coming down at turn 12. Bogart breaks. Oh, the toe there as they're coming down to us. Just watching it around there. But this is very, very close. Oh, wheel contact there as they come round 13 into 14. Round 15. This is the one now. 16. He's going to cut that apex again. He's going to get up a lot closer to Seb Bogart. But Bogart pulls away. Round 17 now. Really measured. Look at that. He really does know the line. Round Hayden Hill. He's just not phased by the fact he's got that Mercedes close behind him. He's concentrating on the road ahead of him, isn't he?
He is, yeah, fair play to him, because he doesn't often have pressure like this during the races. Story at Azerbaijan with Damien Hartman. But yeah, no, this is good stuff on the front too. Just further back actually, as Williamson's clearly fastest lap, Hans Vandenberg has passed Amy, and Amy has a 3-7 penalty as well.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I did go on to Hans Vandenberg. So Hans Vandenberg has now moved past Damien Hartman and he's up into P4. He's got Baz the Breen ahead of him, and that's his target. And these four are still very, very close. I mean, we're on lap 5 of 56, so 1/10 of the way through, or 1/11, whichever way you want to look at it. And but these four are still very, very close indeed, aren't they?
Yeah, it's ridiculously tight. Look at them all following each other like that.
They're all trying to break each other's toe as well. That's the thing. That's why you see them moving around the track. Normally, you wouldn't move the track there, and obviously Hans Vandenberg just stays on his line, and he's reaped the rewards from that because he's now really caught up to that pack while they were trying to break each other's toe.
Yeah, not just about breaking the toe. It's also about getting into position, into the corner as well. If you want to be in a defensive position.
Oh, dearie me! Sorry, but looked like Visser went wide there. He had a bit of an issue. He's lost time to Bogart. And he's just not getting the flow through that final set of corners, is he, Visser?
He's not. No, it's difficult when you're in this situation because you've got less downforce, less air acting on the car. That's a double move there from Bogart. Actually, just ahead when you have the one move.
Yeah, that's true. But as I say, it's what he's trying to do. He's so conscious of giving that Mercedes that toe that he just doesn't want to break it. Seen quite a lot of that this season from the drivers. I mean, does it really make that much of a difference?
Well, breaking toe, yeah, it's down. I mean, slipstream or drafting, does have quite a big impact, and it can have an effect from quite a range as well. If you're about a second behind, we've got yellow flags in sector.
Yeah, Guido Urshan picks up a 3-second time penalty.
Nico's gone off on the final corner, just under car. Yeah, not having a good first race.
Well, not unsurprising, let's be fair. So, Nico Mahadra Singh, rookie driver to F1 tonight, racing first time here at the Circuit of the Americas. And, it's tough. It is tough. First race, you've got the jitters, you've got the nerves, just because you're sitting on a wheel in your front room.
Sorry, Bogart's just gone so wide.
Oh my goodness!
Very wide, and Visser passed.
Look at this. Visser gets past Seb Bogart, and now Bogart is chasing Visser.
I didn't see that coming. He just, it didn't even look like he locked up. He just braked very late, and just couldn't recover it.
Oh, come on, Nicky. got a fiver riding on your son. So Nicky Visser takes the lead from Seb Bogart, and I suppose you could argue it was only a matter of time, but to be fair, but now obviously Seb Bogart, he's under a lot of pressure looking at this now from Hans van der Berg, isn't he? Look at this.
But Bogart's struggling, and
He is struggling.
Look who's behind the two of them as well. It's
Damien Hartman.
Damien Hartman.
Now, why is Bogart struggling? It's not like him. What's going on here? Has he got a problem? Has he got damage?
It could just be. I don't think it's damage. I think it could be purely psychological.
Well, Hans van der Berg now. He's getting past him. Yeah, Hans van der Berg gets ahead of Seb Bogart, and so does Damien Hartman as they're coming down into turn 12. Look at this, side by side, and they get through, and the Ferrari gets through. Seb Bogart trying to come back round 14 there, but not much good there. What is going on? Seb Bogart's just lost 3 places in this lap.
He has, and look, the 2 drivers behind Bogart now are the 2 Renaults who are vying for the Constructors' Championship. They'll be loving the fact that Bogart is just falling back in front of them.
Well, not only that, they'll be looking to get past them themselves, won't they? Because this is very important for the Constructors' Championship. So it's very, very close at this moment in time between Renault and Haas. Only 40 points separating them at this moment.
Yeah, and at this rate, if they finish where they are
Mark
now,
Stappers picks up a 3-second time penalty. That is not going to help Haas.
That is 9 seconds of penalties. We have not done 9 laps yet, so at this rate, he's going to be running the risk of disqualification.
Oops. Yeah, he certainly is. So let's refresh our memories. We're on lap 8 of 56. Nicky Visser leads the way. Seb Bogart has dropped down to 4. He's just picked up a 3-second time penalty. My goodness. So Nicky Visser leads the way. Hans van der Berg in the Williams is in 2nd place. Damien Hartman in the Ferrari is in 3rd. Seb Bogart, as we said there, is in 4th. Baz de Breen, his former teammate, he's in behind him in P5. P6 is the Renault of Jonah Donkel, and he's got Boy Williamson looking to try and get past him as they come into turn 12, and he does. Gets ahead of him. Boy, he's charging through there. Lovely move from Boy Williamson into turn 12. Oh, but he goes wide.
Oh, he's wide in 12.
John Dunkel's trying to come back round 15. But Boy gets it under control. Oh, 3-second penalty for John Dunkel there. He didn't want that.
It's good racing between these 2 drivers though, penalties or not.
Now, I just want to have a quick look at the tyres here. And Hans van der Berg and Damien Hartman, both on the Ultra Softs. And they're going to need to pit. 3-second time penalty for Mark Stappers there. Nicky Visser, he's on the Super Softs, as is Seb Bogart. Now, I would think those Ultra Softs are probably, bearing in mind they've done quali on them as well, they're probably only going to go to around about 12.
Yeah, I think so. Peter Phillips is in the pit. I didn't see any damage there. He's coming in at the end of lap 7 from the ultra soft tyres.
Yeah, I think they got a bit more life in them. I would suspect they probably got 15 total, and with the quali laps on them, I would suspect they'd probably take them up to around about 12. Could be earlier, but then the question is what do they go on to then?
Yeah, true. Debris is about to overtake his former teammate. Bogart for P4. That's another place lost.
Yeah, another place lost there. But he's coming back. He's certainly trying to come back.
Oh, he's spinning!
Oh my goodness, he's spun into the wall! Oh my goodness!
Oh, and he's taking himself out. He's taking himself out. I think he's, yeah, I think that's out of respect.
Yeah, I mean, there was a tap there. And Seb Bogart takes out Baz de Breen and then takes himself out. One could say he had damage and he basically lost control himself. from hitting that Renault. So both Seb Bogart and Baz Debrina are out. Well, this is really going to make it interesting, because this is a golden opportunity now for Damie Hartman in a Ferrari.
It's exactly what he wanted, isn't it? Really.
Well, he's got half the battle done, but ultimately, it's not going to be easy. What is going to happen here? I mean, he is on the ultra softs though, so what's he going to do? I mean, Damie Hartman, golden opportunity, but he's got a problem. He's got Hans van der Berg just ahead of him, who's on the same set of tyres, ultra soft, and then you've got Nicky Visser, who's on the super softs ahead of them. They need to get past Nicky Visser, but he more importantly, he needs to get past Hans van der Berg, doesn't he? Because he wants to try and get in those pits and out, either do the overcut or the undercut, one of the two.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it probably want to. It probably prefer to overtake Van der Berg on the track right now. Actually, I think he can do it. Really good exit, actually.
Yeah, makes the move. Can he make it stick though? Van der Berg coming back, but no, Damie does get past him. So Damie Hartman gets past Hans van der Berg as they come into sector 3. Now he needs to concentrate on Nicky Visser, and he's got the opportunity, he's got the tyres to do it. The problem is, has he got the window?
It's interesting, isn't it? Because he could come in now. Oh, Hans van der Berg's retired. Where's he gone?
Hans van der Berg has gone on turn 20. Yeah, he's gone into the pits and gone into the wall. He's gone into the wall of pits. You look on the left there.
Yep, I see it.
There he is. He's gone into the pits but hit the wall. So Hans van der Berg is out, wipes himself out, unfortunately, going into the pits. I've got to say, though, it is a tricky pit entry into that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I mean, we have all done it. It's just a shame for him, because he's definitely on for... he's on for a podium.
I'll tell you what, I think Damie Hartman got the voodoo dolls out tonight. Because, I mean, let's be fair about this. Let's look at this logically. Damie Hartman had to not only beat Bogart, but make sure that Bogart didn't get any points. Well, that's happened. He then had Hans van der Berg, who he had to get past, and that was going to be quite a challenge. Now he's gone. I mean, do you think he's got one more left in him?
I hope not, because I really like Nicky Visser. I don't want anything to happen to him, but I think Damie will, as I said earlier on, I think Damie will win this race, and if he doesn't, then that could be the championship over. Well, I would have thought that, but with Bogart out of the picture at the moment, then maybe he's still got another chance.
I went the one and only time I went for the obvious choice, and what happens?
Indeed.
It's just not fair. So Damie Hartman now, but I mean, how much longer can he stay out? This is the question. 2 seconds, the gap to Nicky Visser. You could argue it's worth him coming in and going on to another set of ultra softs, isn't it?
Yes, it could well do. Yeah, it could well do. He's actually losing about a second, nearly a second a lap to Nicky. It looks like his tyres are falling off. You know, they're only sort of 11 laps old. These ultras don't tend to last very long, especially around this that first sector. Well, it's a 3-second penalty for Damie as well now. So there's 2 of them.
Yeah, he's
Nicky
getting hurt now by the condition of those tyres. He needs to come in, get a new set of boots on. The question is, what does he go for? I would suspect that what we're looking at, softs, is the other option. We've got Peter Phillips, he's gone on to the softs. I've got the feeling, though, I think he's going to go on to a set of ultra softs, because he needs to get past Visser, and Visser is going to be pitting probably in the next 10 laps. I would think those super, well, I don't know, those super softs probably go around maybe to, say, between lap 15 and 18. But he needs to get as much speed as he can, Damie Hartman, now, if he's got a chance of actually getting the win.
Yep. No, you're absolutely right. The only thing is, if he does come out, if he pits now, he'll come. I think he is pitting now, is he? Yeah, he's
Yeah,
going
he
up
is.
the pit lane. Yeah, he's going to come out about P5 or 6. He might just squeeze ahead of Pullen. And yeah, he just wants to find himself sort of away from that traffic. Oh, he's on a soft tyre. Okay, so it's like that. Yep, that's a good call.
Yeah, he's not gone the whole hog, but it gives him a fighting chance certainly. But I don't think it's going to help him further into the race. I think personally, he should have gone on to an ultra soft and then gone soft to finish the race. But that's my opinion. Boy Williamson, in the meantime, has now taken second place, albeit provisionally. And well, what can you say? Boy Williamson, 13 laps in. How many places has he moved up? I mean, it's quite a few. I'm just going to quickly check that now, actually. Where are we?
But there is only really one thing that we can say about Boy's performance, and that's boy oh boy.
Indeed. I knew you were going to do that. boy moves up 12 places from 14. That's rather spectacular, isn't it? I mean, that's almost a place a lap.
Yeah, it's phenomenal stuff, and it's a Mercedes 1-2 right now as well, and looking strong for the finish as well. I mean, they're only a quarter of the way through, but they're in the right place, aren't they?
They're certainly in the right place. I mean, the interesting thing that I'm taking away from this at this moment in time is the fact of their tyres, because they're on the super softs, they're on equal laps. You've also got then Guido Urshan in the Force India behind, he's also there, and then you've got Zander Hermans as well. Damie Hartman's come in and he's gone on to the soft tyres, so I think that's a good call. Personally, I thought I thought you said he went on to the super softs. Who went on to the super softs then?
No, definitely went. Yeah, Damie definitely went on to the softs.
Oh right, he went to the softs.
Stint.
Sorry, right, yeah. So he's gone to the softs. He's going to go for the longest stint, and then hopefully look to finish either on a set of ultra softs or super softs, depending upon how the race pans out. It will be a good move. I mean, he will get back up to Nicky Visser, and he might well get ahead of him. But it could be interesting in about another sort of 20 laps time to see what happens.
Yeah, Damie's obviously looking to try and win the race in the final stint. It's going to be interesting. I'm interested to see actually what Boy is going to use next. I'd imagine he may consider another set of super softs in this position.
Well, I'm just looking at this now. I mean, Damie Hartman isn't too far off. We're probably looking. I think this pit is around about 22 seconds or thereabouts. So let's say it's 20 seconds for the sake of argument. He's actually 18 seconds off Nicky Visser at this moment in time. So there's every possibility, if he maintains a good pace, that he will actually take that P1 position in once the guys ahead of him pit.
Yes, it's possible. Oh, Zander Hermans is the first one ahead of him, the pit.
So Zander Hermans already into the pit. That's on 14 lap old, or nearly 15 lap old super softs. Yeah. So he now moves up into P4. This could be very interesting indeed.
Just curious about the tyre wear of the three drivers ahead there. Obviously, Boyd Williamson, he started at the back, so his tyres will be a bit younger than the other two. But the others must be at something like, by this stage, I'd say about 35-40% wear. Particularly on the rear. Rears tend to wear out a lot faster than the fronts. Mostly due to that long straight, actually, after the tight left or turn. Is it turn 9?
Just looking at Nicky Visser's tyres, they don't look too bad. Nor do Boyd Williamson's. Certainly a bit of wear on the inside of those front tyres. Unfortunately, can't get a view of the rear tyres any longer. But they've all got pretty even wear, I would say, on the inside of those front tyres. Yeah, I think you're right. They've got to be round about that sort of mark. That's why I'm thinking they'll probably go. Well, I did say 15 to 18, but I don't know. They might be able to push it to the early 20s, possibly, on these super softs.
Yeah, could do. Well, particularly boy. Yeah, so to say, besides a young guy, expect him to hit at least lap 20. That's what I mean. That's why I think he might be looking at another super soft stint, followed by an ultra soft for the last 10.
Well, it's certainly going to be. Yeah, it's always that time though, isn't it? You know, what's going to happen? How's it going to pan out? Which way is it going to work? I mean, it is pretty much speculation, and it does depend, obviously, very much what happens on track. I mean, so often I look at this and I think, yeah, I think that's going to happen, and that's going to call, and you take it that these places are solid, but it doesn't necessarily work out that way.
No, no, it doesn't, does it?
No.
I mean, just look what happened in the last race.
Yeah, exactly. Like that. I mean, that was phenomenal. I mean, it was amazing. I mean, I couldn't, in all sincerity, I found it difficult to, let's say, apportion major blame in any of the incidents. I think it was just one of those things that happened. Although I can appreciate, obviously, the circumstances which precede that, but still, it was certainly was very interesting. Let's put it like that. From 18 drivers to 5. But good points were taken that day by those remaining 5 drivers.
The lucky ones.
Yeah. The survivors.
Yeah,
you weren't there, man.
Yeah.
Oh, you weren't there, man.
Oh, Nicky
is into the pits. So Nicky's in on 15 laps. Boy Williamson remains out. Guido Urshan's coming around now.
Come in as well?
Is he going? No, he's going back round for another lap. So Nick, now has he come in early?
Maybe.
Oh, he's staying on the super softs. Interestingly enough.
Yep.
So he is obviously very well aware of Damie Hartman. That's what he wants to do. He needs to come out ahead of Damie Hartman, but they're going to be side by side. He does. Oh, just ahead. Look at this as they come into turn 1. Oh, that was so close. And Damie Hartman, I'm sure, is going to be hitting that steering wheel at this moment in time, because that has got to be the ultimate frustration, hasn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah. Oh, you know what? And fair play to Damien though, because he was 2 seconds behind Nicky before the pit stops. He came in for the harder soft tyre, so he's done what 8 or 9 laps on this tyre since that pit stop, and he's managed to actually close up the gap to Nicky. Didn't get past him, okay, but he has closed the gap, and I think that is that will play a crucial role later on. I think he's actually going to look at the overtake here.
Yeah, he is. He's going to try and make the move into turn 12. Can he make it stick? Yes, he does. Oh, that was so important there. Really was, and especially considering that Nicky is actually on those super softs. That was quite a critical one, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was cold super soft mind, and I think that is also a factor.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, Damien is absolutely on a mission. He's on a mission to win this race 100%.
Well, you can see that he's starting to pull away a bit from Visser.
He's going to take the lead, Boy and Guido right in the pit now.
So Guido Urshan into the pit. Damie Hartman now does take the lead. It came a little bit sooner, but I said between lap 15 and 18, I thought they might go. Oh, look at this! Nicky Visser takes the place back. But Damie's back rounding round the 3 into 4. Oh, dearie me, that was close. So Damie Hartman.
Damie wished he wasn't there.
Yeah, he's got to fight now. This is the thing. Visser is going to push, and he's got the ability to push as well, because look at this. I don't want to give too much away in case somebody's watching the stream, but Visser's got plenty of energy to use, let's put it like that, and Damie is going to struggle here, and especially now as they're coming up to that DRS point. I think it's I think that's Damie Hartman 1, Nicky Visser 2. Yeah, as expected.
Yeah, Nicky's done the same.
He's done the same
that Damie did to him.
Yeah, exactly. Now the question is, what can he do? He needs to pull out ahead of him. He needs to use that power that he's got stored, but I'm pretty sure that Damie's going to stay on his tail.
Yep, that's the thing. Even though Nicky has passed him, as long as Damie can do a lap about less than 6 tenths slower than Nicky, that's what he's got to aim for per lap. So Nicky can pull away as long as he doesn't pull away more than 6 tenths a lap.
But look at this. Boy Williamson is right there as well now. And he could spoil this party.
Boy's gone on to the Ultra Softs.
He has.
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, he's gone on to the Ultra Softs. I've got to say, I think that's a good move. Because look at this, he is now harassing that Ferrari. It's given Nicky this a great opportunity to pull away, but it will also give Boy a fantastic opportunity as well. But he needs to get past this Ferrari, and he needs to do it PDQ, you think?
This could also be tactical from Mercedes as well, actually. Putting Boy on the ultra soft tyre, that will give Damie a hard time. Even if he doesn't get past him, it's still gonna disrupt Damie's race, and so it's gonna increase his tyre wear and it's gonna affect his strategy.
Look at that. Gets past him. Simple move there. Boy Williamson now moves up into second place, and Damie Hartman, he's going to rue that decision, I think, of going onto those softs.
Well, still a long way to go, and in fairness, he's not. I know he's racing them on track at the moment, but he's not racing them sort of live, you know, in terms of their stints. Obviously, Boy on the Ultra Softs, he's doing his quick stint now. Damie will absolutely have a fast stint later on. So I think Damie's okay with letting Boy pass. I think he'd rather let him pass earlier than try to keep fighting and lose time himself.
Yeah, I suppose so, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, look at this. I mean, surely I'm looking at this and I'm thinking there's 4 laps between Visser and Hartman at this moment in time. Those super softs, I don't know, about 20. I just think it's going to be tight. I think had he gone on to the Ultra Softs, he would have got a much better chance, and he probably would be leading this race now.
Yeah, quite possibly. I mean, Damie could have gone on to.
I mean, let's remember when he came out, Visser was literally about 2 tenths ahead of him. Had he been on those Ultra Softs, he would have taken that place, and he could have pulled out a substantial gap. Now he's having to fight, and both the cars ahead of him, both the Mercedes, are on faster set of tyres. Yeah,
True. Although Nicky is less than 4 seconds ahead, and Damie's been on these times for 7 laps, so you know that is less than 6. That's only just less than 6 tenths a lap, but it's nonetheless less than 6 tenths a lap. I think he's on the right track, Damie. But you know, we'll see how this race unfolds. It's not, you know, it's always very, very difficult to try and predict.
It is, and as I say, our predictions are seldom right, but sometimes we get the mark. So, okay, let's have a look through this field. We're on lap 20 of 50, or 21 now of 56. Oh, look at this!
Team orders.
Yeah, takes the place, and it definitely is team orders there, isn't it? Because Visser just led him through there on that start-finish straight.
Yep. Yeah, that's sensible. That's sensible because Boy's on the faster tyre, so in theory he'll be doing laps that 6 tenths faster than Nicky. So yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah, good teamwork there from the Mercedes drivers. So Boy Williamson does get ahead, but it gives him a great on that. And they are really defending their places here, because you're right. He's the common sense move to make. He's on a fast set of tyres. Let him go. He'll come in sooner. You'll take the place back anyway, and then he can ride shotgun for you.
Yeah, that's right. Lots of people don't like team orders, but yeah, I'm actually a fan of it. I think it's sensible for the team to maximise their points. Further back, Nick moved up to P4.
He has.
Sander Herman's just into the first left and right in sector 1.
But he's on 11 lap old super soft, so him come in early. How deep can you go on these now? Obviously, a little bit more into a third of the way through the race. You've burnt off third of your fuel. What are we looking at there? I would say probably 20, 22.
Yep.
So he's got about another 11 laps to go. He's got Zander Hermans on his tail. He's on a set of Ultra Softs. But Zander Hermans has probably got about another 8 or 9 laps, so he could be quite close. So you could actually very potentially see these guys. And Boy Williams has just picked up a 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, that could come into play later on. You know, at this pace, Droney could be on for a possible podium if you know, the 3 drivers ahead of him rack up more penalties. And
Well,
of course, Droney getting a pen.
He has, yeah. I think Droney has picked up. I think I've certainly seen him pick up 1, if not 2. Marco Pullen picks up a 3-second time penalty there for Force India as well. But look at this. I mean, Zander Hermans, he is all over the gearbox of this Haas, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah. I think he's just trying to get that pace back. In fairness, he shouldn't really have been passed on the. Bearing in mind the tyres that he's on. He's on tyres that are faster than the Droney's.
Yeah.
But I think he might have made a mistake. Actually.
I think he must have done.
But he might have gone off into those first few corners.
He's right on the tail there. He should get him on this start-finish. On this back straight. So DRS is now active.
Good DRS management from both drivers.
Yeah, Zander Hermans takes the place back. Indeed, into turn 12, and now he can start to close down that gap to Damie Hartman, who's just over 9.5 seconds ahead of him. So let's have a quick look through this field. So we see there Zander Hermans. He's currently in P4. Then we have Marcel Dronig in P5. John Donkel is now in P7. Guido Ershine in the Force India is P6, just ahead of him. Then we have Mark Stappers, P8 in the Sauber. Marco Pullen is P9 in the Force India. Not seen a great deal of Marco, obviously he wasn't in the qualifying. Not having a great race. He's on a fresh set of softs. I mean, this could help him. It should push him up quite a bit, actually. It'd probably push him up into P6 if it maintains where it is. He might find himself fighting against his teammate there.
Yeah, it could well do. Yeah, you need to. It probably needs to pick up the pace slightly in terms of his sort of overall lap times, but yeah, he could certainly. It's going to be a points finish nonetheless, isn't it?
Yeah,
which he hasn't had for a while.
Well, yeah, he's not doing too bad. He's moved up 4 places, as we can see there. So certainly the best of the guys there towards the back, moved up 4 to P9, and then we have Peter Phillips in the Toro Rosso. He's P10, and Nico Mahadra Singh. He's not doing too bad, actually, to be fair. For a rookie, he's only 27 seconds behind Peter Phillips. And some of you may think, oh, that's a big enough gap. But for a first race, that's not too bad, actually.
Well, he's still going, isn't he? 24 laps in.
And that's it. 24 laps in, still there. That's another good sign.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, can't deny that. That's the achievement in itself. Is surviving the race, let alone actually sort of doing well.
Well, he seems to have settled down a bit better now. Obviously, letting the faster drive through. There's Boy Williamson coming through, race leader. So he's just been lapped by Boy Williamson on lap 24. So that's respectable. But I'm just watching him now. We're in cockpit view with him on board, and yeah, he's certainly got a good line there. Moves aside. I think that's probably to let Nicky Visser past. Although I can't see Nicky, there he is. There we go. So respectful of the other drivers. Good racing line. He's not too bad, is he? Let's be fair.
No, he's not. No, he's not. And, as we said, this is his first race, so let's see how he does for the rest of the season, and indeed into next season. Team.
Well, he's got 4 laps to get his eye in, and I'm sure he will. So he's bringing up the rear at the moment. Let's just seen Boy Williamson overtake him. He's in P1. Nicky Visser P2. And then we're back to Damie Hartman in P3, but Damie's still keeping it respectable. He's under 9 seconds to the race leader. But this is the question now. Obviously, Boy Williamson, 7-lap-old ultra softs. We know those ultra softs can go relatively. I would expect he'll probably go on this stint, probably around about sort of lap 18 or sort of high teens, I would expect, for Boy Williamson. Nicky Visser, I would suspect we're probably going to be looking around about the mid to high 20s. And then Damie Hartman, I would say probably around about 30 to low 30s laps. So these guys, it's still anyone's, isn't it? Certainly between these three at this moment in time.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm just looking at Amy's gap to Vista, which effectively for me is that is the one to beat. I know Boy is 3 seconds ahead.
Oh no, I totally agree.
In terms of strategy and things, Damie's looking to beat Nicky. He's 7.6 behind and pitted 12 laps ago. So as I said earlier on, he needs to be no more than 0.6 laps slower. So obviously that's a little bit outside that sort of target window. So I think when these two both do their next stops, I think it's going to be quite a close fight with Nicky just ahead of Damie at his current pace.
Well, we saw that on the previous pit
Nicky's
stop.
in. Is Nicky in?
Yeah, Nick. No.
I just see someone
no.
go in. Oh no, that was someone.
That was Nico. So Nico is into the pits. So 18 laps on those ultra softs. So that means that Boy's probably got another 10 laps left in those. This is going to be, this is going to be. I think they're actually going to be pitting very close to each other within a window. And as I said, we saw that on the previous pit stop. Obviously, Nicky just pipping Damie on the exit there. I mean, Damie did take the place back, but not for too long because obviously Nicky came back to him. Yeah, it's just it's a tough one. It really is. I'm looking at this and I'm sort of scratching my head. I'm trying to figure out, if it stays like this. But as we know, anything can happen, can't it?
And it often does.
And it often does. You think, well, we've seen Seb Bogart go out. We've seen Zander Hermans go out. We've seen Baz de Breen go out. So 3 great drivers. Seb Bogart was obviously leading this race. Baz de Breen was looking as if he was coming back, as he always does. And this is the thing with Baz de Breen. He may not be cracking those qualifying and getting always up in that front row. But he fights his way through, certainly, and he seems to relish that as well. And all of a sudden, you're sort of 3/4 of the way through the race, and suddenly there he is, out of nowhere.
He's one of those drivers, isn't he? And actually, speaking of the Renaults, John Dongle and Marcel Dronig, actually, that is now the battle for the constructors, isn't it? It's the P7 and P5 respectively, with both their respective teammates out of the race after that collision you just mentioned. And I think John feels that probably he should be ahead of Dronig, but just
he's 11.5 seconds behind. They're on the same set of tyres, and they've gone the same distance on those tyres as well. They're both on 17 laps. I think John's got a bit of a fight on his hand, unless Dronig makes a big mistake. I think John has got some real work ahead of him.
Marcel Dronig has impressed me in this race. Actually, it's probably one of his best performances I've seen, sort of in recent memory, certainly. And he's taken the fight to Renault, absolutely.
Yes, but he has done well. I mean, last season I would say he was a middle ranked driver. I would probably put him, but this season he has upped his game. Do you think that's got a lot to do with this teammate? I mean, as I'm saying that, Guido Urshan gets past him in the Force India.
That's his former teammate as well.
That's his former teammate, indeed. Yeah. Although, to be fair,
what was your question?
Yeah, what was my question? Yeah. Good question. No, I was saying, do you think he's sort of risen to the challenge this season with his teammate, being obviously the Seb Bogart?
Yeah, big time. You know, I don't think it's got any problem with being the number 2 driver. I think he's done all he can to earn the respect of his teammates. I mean, I'm sure he had it already. I'm sure he had it of respect of all the drivers here. But yeah, no, he's really shown some good pace these last few races, especially this race. So, yeah, I haven't seen him drive like this for ages.
Yeah, because his Achilles heel, in my opinion, was his tyre wear and his pits, because he just used to make insane amount of pit stops, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did quite a few.
He'd always do at least half as many as everyone else. Well, he's not giving up. I mean, Ersham is pulling away, and I've got to say, Ersham's looking rather good here, isn't he? He seems to be showing some real form. He's very much come alive here at this circuit, the Americas, I think.
Yeah, it's going well for him at the moment. I don't like talking about Guido too much because you know what happens.
Yeah, I've got to say, I don't know if it's a curse, but every time you mention him, he shortly DNFs afterwards, or something else happens.
But I will say confidently, he did get driver of the day the last race.
Yes, he did.
And got his first podium in about 10 races.
Yeah, that is very true. But he is really, really being harried at the moment by the Haas, because Dronig has closed back down to him. And, I don't know. Oh, look at this. He's trying to make the move.
He's not defending.
He's coming into turn 1. He isn't, is he? He's not defending yet.
He's gone deep.
Oh, wow, look at that. And Ersham maintains the place. Dronig goes too deep into that turn 1. I think he was just carrying too much speed, wasn't he?
Yeah, far too much. Even though that's an uphill section, that you can brake later, you do still have to brake at some point. I don't know if Master did that. It looked like Guido actually read his mind there, because he stayed very, very wide. He just took his normal racing line and just watched him sort of go flying up the hill. And yeah.
So there you go. See ya. Don't worry. Yeah, he was pretty chilled about it, wasn't he? I've got to say, he seemed as if he was just letting him get past, but he was obviously aware that he was just carrying too much speed into that final, or on that final, but into that turn 1. So
yeah,
playing the clever game, and this is the thing, isn't it? It's not just about your driving skills; it's also about reading other drivers. It's a bit like after you pass your test, you know how to drive, but you haven't got a clue what the people around you are likely to do. You've got to learn that by actually being on the road and being aware of all the things to watch out for.
Yeah, that's right. And that's the beauty of this league as well, isn't it? Because all of these drivers have raced with each other for a very long time. Obviously, with the exception of today's newcomer.
Yeah.
Jamie Delaney's he's only been here since Monaco, and yeah, there's a few others. But
there's a good hardcore, 50% hardcore drivers that that they do learn, they do improve. And also, you see the other drivers that come into the league. Maybe the guys that started this season, the guys that started the previous season. You do see that improvement happening throughout the field. And those that don't improve, well, they don't stay basically.
Yeah, no, exactly right. John Dongle has just come into the pit. Marcel Dronig has not. Has not come in.
Oh, John Donkle's coming out now. He's on a set of softs. Now this should see him through quite well. I mean, I think it's going to give him the opportunity to probably actually move up to P4. I think this could be an inspired call here from John Donkle.
Yeah, maybe. I'm trying to work out Dronig's strategy. I think he's going to try and do a few more laps. He needs to do 3 more laps, and then he'll be able to hit for the super softs again. I think that's what he's trying to do here. He's done 20. There's 26 to go. So if he does 3 more, he'll have done 23, and there'll be 23 left.
So that's what you think Dronig's going for, do you?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, as you say, we're on lap 31 of 56. 25 laps are now remaining. Boy Williamson leads the way at this moment in time. Nicky Visser is second. Davey Hartmann is third. Sander Hermans fourth. Guido Ershine 5. Marcel Dronig 6. John Donker, who riding on board now, is 7. Then we have Marco Pullen 8. Mark Stappers 9. Peter Phillips 10. And Nico Mahadra Singh bring up the rear in P11 at this moment in time. But I still think we've got a lot to happen here, because we've got another round of pit stops coming in. And it's still very, very close. I've got to say, when I'm looking at this now, I still think, I'm trying to sort of get an idea of where they're going to be. I mean, 25 laps. Damie Hartmann is definitely looking to go onto a set of Ultrasofts to finish this race. And I think he's going to need him, because I still think he's going to be behind Boy Williamson and Nicky Visser. Or rather, the other way round. I think Nicky Visser will be in P1, Boy will be in 2, and he's going to have to fight his way through.
Yeah, I think either way it's going to be a close call between between all three of those drivers actually. Although Boy is starting to sort of drop back in terms of his lap times in comparison to Nicky. Is obviously those Ultrasofts have really come to the end of their life now. 14 laps old.
He's probably got. I mean, he can take it to 18. I would suspect he's probably going to go maybe another couple of laps and then come in. You can see he's already starting to lose grip through there, isn't he? He's definitely losing pace, isn't he?
Yeah, some four-wheel drifting there through turns 3 and 4, I think that was. It's not good for the tyres.
A little bit ooh, a little bit R out of turn 10 as well. So he's into 11 now. I think we could well see him actually come in at the end of this laps.
Yeah, could well do. Nicky will definitely be going on to a set of Ultrasofts when he comes in. He's only used the Supersofts so far, so he can't use those again. He's obviously not going to go on to the softs. That means that Nicky's going to have to do about 8 more laps on these. Well, no, he can do 8 more laps on these tyres.
I think he certainly can do, yeah, definitely. I mean, we've got Marcel Droning, he's on 22 laps. You said that you thought he might be looking to go to the 23. I think he could probably go a little bit deeper than that.
Yeah, just to make it a bit easier for him.
Make it that. Oh, big slide from Boy Williamson there. Doesn't go into the pits. Now, I don't know if he was thinking of going into the pits, but had he tried to line up for the pits, he probably would have ended up DNFing. So, not too sure what's happened there. I think he may have been looking to come to the pits, was just carrying too much speed and decided to carry on.
Yeah, possibly. I think he's definitely going to be coming in this lap. Either way, 23 laps remaining. That's a good Supersoft stint.
It is, yeah, definitely is a good Supersoft stint. As I say, Damie Hartmann's obviously going to be looking to go that little bit deeper, and he's definitely going to be looking to go that. Now, the question is, when does Damie come in? Boy Williamson is going to come in. He's at the moment 17 seconds adrift from Damie Hartmann. So Damie Hartmann should get ahead of him on the track, which will put him in a Mercedes sandwich, but he'll have Boy Williamson behind him on a fresh set of Supersofts. Nicky Visser ahead of him, who will be looking to pit, but he's likely to also go on to the Ultrasofts. So I think we're going to see Visser and Hartmann finishing this race on the Ultrasofts.
Yeah. Just looking at that and just listening to what you're saying. Yeah, I completely agree with that. Both drivers will indeed finish this on the ultras. Although having said, well, no, I was about to say they may opt for a set of Supersofts either this lap or next. But
that is, yeah, I was thinking that myself, but I think it's a big risk.
Yeah, it is, and bear in mind as well that he is actually maintaining that 0.6 second deficit per lap to Nicky.
Well, it's actually reduced. 17 seconds was the gap to Boy Williamson. It's now down to around about 16 seconds. So he is
Yeah.
actually closing down to Boy Williamson.
Yeah, he's closing to Boy, but Boy is really, his tyres are completely falling off now, and he hasn't come in, he's doing another lap. I think that's going to be, I think that's
dangerous.
A mistake from Boy.
I
Yeah,
think
that is
dangerous.
He really should come in.
But
Should come in for super soft.
Okay, let's go for commentator's premonition. I'm going to go on board with Boy Williamson. It's been a long time since I've seen a decent DNF. That's confidence for you, isn't it?
No.
No, I really hope he doesn't, but I think he is pushing that envelope somewhat. But why is he pushing that envelope? I mean, is he looking to go on to another set of Ultra Softs?
I hope not.
So do I.
Yeah. I don't know. If he wants to do that,
laps of them.
Yeah, let's look at it. Yeah, because it's done 16 laps. There are 22 laps remaining. So that means he's got to do 3 more on this set, take them to 19, and there'll be 19 left.
And he's staying out.
Right.
He's staying out. That's what he's going for. He's going for another Ultra Soft run.
He's going to have to do 2 stints, both 19 laps on Ultra Softs. I think it's just too much.
Well, if anyone can, the boy can. Yeah, I think that's what he's definitely going for. So we're going to have all 3 of these drivers going onto the Ultra Softs to close this race. And yeah, I'm definitely seeing that. But Damie Hartman, that gap is staying pretty much where it was at this moment in time. And he does have the edge on Boy still when he comes into pit.
Yeah, Will Droning's in 4 laps after John Donkel. Droning's in the pit. Will John pass him now?
Droning is in on lap 25 on those super softs. That means Visser have 7 laps remaining that he could do. I don't think he's going to go all the way, to be fair, on those super softs though. I think he's going to be coming in before that.
What, Dronig again?
No, not Dronig, sorry, Visser. Oh, sorry, John Donkel
sorry.
looking to make the move on Dronig now as they were coming out of 1 into 2. Oh, it's side by side. Oh, a little bit of weaving there as they go through 4, 5, 6. They are still so. Oh, and contact with the Haas. I don't think that was. I think that was wheel to wheel, not side pod. So John Donkel gets through up into P6, pushes Marcel Dronig down into P7. And that's something because he's on a set of softs. But he's taken advantage because Dronig's super softs are obviously fresh and cold.
Yeah, I was riding with John there actually. I don't know if there was contact. Oh, sorry, Damie and Boy are both in the pit same lap.
Okay, now this is interesting.
Both of the supers.
Yeah, Damie's in. Boy is out now onto the track.
Oh, he's on Ultras.
He has gone on to the Ultras. Damie Hartman's gone on to the super softs. Now this.
And then Boy's thrown podium away here, I think.
Well, he's got 20 laps to go. Can he do it? I mean, lighter fuel load. Obviously, the car is getting lighter all the time, but
they'll make it. It's just his last 5 laps are going to be so far off the pace.
The pace, yeah, no, exactly, yeah.
We'll see.
Well, he is out on track. Urshan now takes provisional P3. Damie Hartman is now in P4. But he's now, well, he's less. He's now 17 seconds behind Boy Williamson. So he's lost about a second or so in that pit stop to Boy Williamson. But is Boy Williamson, do you think he's riding shotgun for Visser here?
Yes, I think he has done for the majority of this race. He's fought up, from the back up to P2, up to P3, and then just made life difficult for Damie. Managed to get past him under ERS, which I think actually could have been more disruptive if he'd stayed behind him and just keep putting pressure on, not necessarily past him. I think that would have taken the pressure off of Nicky. But before he went past early, and then he was able to pace himself, which is important. Although now he's having a fight with Guido, I think he's going to pass him into one, which he does.
Yeah, does take the place back. So Damie moves up to P3.
And look at the gap between Nicky and Damie is 17 seconds. That is less than a pit stop.
Yeah, it is.
So that thing about staying within 0.6 per lap of Nicky during his stop stint, that's paid off. Although he's just got a 3-second penalty.
sorry, Adrian, to correct you there. He's actually further. He's 33 seconds off it, Nicky.
33 seconds. Sorry, I was looking at leader, not.
Yeah. He's 33 seconds off. So, Nicky is now. I think he's pretty much sealed the deal because he can afford to pit and still come out ahead of Damie Hartman at this moment in time, and probably by still a gap of at least 10 seconds.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think Damie's pretty much shot himself in the foot by coming in and going on to those super softs. I mean, yeah. I mean, if we take the scenario that he stays out, he's definitely going to close down to Boy Williamson, probably around about lap 50, 52. But then he's got to get past him, and all Boyd's got to do is just hold him off sufficiently. And it's just sealing the deal for Nicky. I mean, this is what it's all about. This is what Mercedes are concentrating on for this race, is getting those points for Visser.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. I think if he can gain some time here in this stint before Nicky pits, I think what Damien can hope for now is that Nicky stays out as long as possible. To try and, for the grip to fall off his tyres, just for his lap times to get slower and slower, and Damie to close that gap, and then Nicky pits, and then it will be a sort of race to the finish. But obviously, Nicky will be on the ultra soft tyre. Damie's got the advantage now, but Nicky's going to have it in a minute.
Yeah, definitely. And John Donkel picks up another 3-second time penalty. He's not having the greatest. I mean, he's in P6. He will be picking up points, but not the points he was hoping for. His only saving grace is that he is ahead of Marcel Dronig, who is the remaining Haas driver.
I think that was his target. In fairness, I think that was both Haas drivers' targets. Both Renault drivers' targets. Sorry, was to beat the Haas's. Yeah, so I think that's mission successful. It probably could have been better for John, but as long as he's ahead of the Haas and closing the gap.
Well, indeed. Now, obviously, 11 drivers remaining. We did start with a field of 15: Hans van der Berg, Seb Bogart, and Baz de Breen, all out in pretty short succession to one another. Bit of a surprise there. Mahadra said, and Peter Phillips has just gone out. Peter Phillips has just DNF'd. I think that was going into the pits as well, actually. No. Right on board with Nico. Yeah. Coming up, no. Let's have a look where Peter Phillips went off. And that now means that all Nico's got to do is finish the race, and he picks up his points. What a fantastic result for him.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. Points on your debut. That's the thing, isn't it? It's not all about the blistering pace, lap after lap. It's about consistency and just finishing races sometimes. Like we saw in the Japan last week.
Yeah. All you got to do is stay in there. You never know what's going to happen on track, and anything can happen. And to be fair, normally does as well, actually. So I'm not too sure where Peter Phillips went off. I think it was certainly around sector 1, but can't quite establish where he went off. That pushes Mahadra Singh into 10. Stappers is now 9 in Sauber, so Sauber 9 and 10. Marco Pullen for Force India. He's currently P8, so in the points. Marcel Dronig is P7, as we were discussing, for Haas. John Donkel is P6. He is 5 and maybe 6 seconds down the road from Marcel Dronig. Could get interesting though, because Dronig's on a set of super softs, so he should close that gap to Donkel in the next, probably 8 to 10 laps. I would have thought, maybe less.
Yeah, it should do. Yeah, it's gonna be a tight fight between the Renaults and the Hasses, two top of the constructors.
We got some action here with Zander Hermans and Guido Urshan. Now he's on a much fresher set of Supersoft, 9 laps old as compared to the 22 laps of Urshans that are ahead. Now we know that he can probably get another 3 or 4 laps out of that, maybe, but what do you think? I mean, is Herman's going to be able to make the move down to turn 12? I don't think he's... Yeah, no, he is.
Yeah,
DRS working beautifully. But Urshan isn't going to make it too easy for him, but he goes through. Stappers picks up a 3-second time penalty in the meantime, so Zander Hermans moves up to P4. Great points again for Zander Hermans. He is on 9-lap-old Supersofts. They should take him to the end. 15 laps shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, so good performance from Sanders. Yeah, impressed me in the early stage of early part Q2 with a sort of original fastest time. He's done well. It's good to see him up to P4.
Yeah,
we'll see him on the podium eventually.
I think we already have this season. I'm pretty sure we have. But he's going to be one to certainly watch for season 6. So Zander Hermans moves up into P4. Damie Hartman is in that P3 position now. Let's reassess this. Nicky Visser has come out. He's gone on to that fresh set of Ultrasofts as we expected, and he is 8 seconds down the road to Damie Hartman. Now, what can Hartman do? There's not an awful lot he can do now, is there? That's pretty much it.
Yeah, not really. It's just a matter of just putting in the fast laps down. Just look at the gap between him and him and Nicky. Yeah,
it's 20 seconds to Boy Williamson. Clearly, they will switch places. I'm sure Mercedes will switch places. It's probably going to be a few laps before that happens, but I would suspect this is going to be very interesting. Is Damie Hartman going to be able to close down to Visser? This is the question. If he can close down to Visser, I don't know. I'm looking at it. I just can't see how he's going to be able to, cut that gap of 8 seconds.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to really. As I said, Damie had the advantage before Nicky's pit stop. Now that Nicky has stopped, the advantage is back with him. And you know what else? I haven't really sort of given Boyd credit. I counted him as like the sort of the third driver in this group, but Boyd could actually win this race. I know I said his tyres will completely fall away, but that gap of 12 seconds, that's substantial over Visser.
It is, but I just don't believe that's... firstly, Visser's just come out on a fresh set of Ultrasoft, so that gap is going to close down. Point 1. Point 2, that he's going to have a much better set of tyres at the end of this race than Williamson, as you pointed out earlier, and I think that he is going to definitely take, he's going to take the win. The question is what can Damie Hartman do? At the moment, it's a Mercedes fight, and it's it's not something we see very often on F1 tonight, I've got to say, as opposed to real world. But that's what we're seeing. That's what we're seeing now. I mean, I hate to mimic real world, but that's what we're looking at. They've got 13 laps remaining, and this is definitely a fight between the two Mercedes. They're going to be on each other for the close of this race, and I don't think team orders are going to apply then, as you pointed out. But I do think Boyd's going to suffer because he, as you said earlier, those tyres will not stick for the last 4 or 5 laps.
Yep. Yeah, it's I'm sort of contradicting myself here, I know, but yeah, I mean the gap. To be fair, the gap has come down to 11.5. Nicky's last lap time was a whole second faster than his teammates. So yeah, and there's still 13 laps to go. So yeah, Nicky could it could well be an easy move in the end actually for Nicky over Boy come the final few laps, or indeed few corners. I wouldn't be surprised.
So, Boy Williamson cruising past Marcel Droning into turn 12. Marcel just moving across, let the race leader through. So we have 13 laps remaining for this F1 tonight. And I haven't mentioned it too much, but this is the 100th race. 100 races, Adrian. 100 races, 5 seasons. That's not bad going, is it?
No, not really. No. No, obviously, there are leagues that have done quite a few more seasons than that.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
5 seasons is absolutely nothing to sniff at. And as you said, there's some hardcore drivers here that have been here since day one.
Indeed, there is that hardcore set of drivers that have been there from day one, and but it's good to see other drivers in there as well. I think Nicky Visser joined, I'm pretty sure it was season 3. Boy Williamson, I think, was probably around about the same, although it may have been earlier. Zander Hermans was certainly season 4. Guido Ershine, season 3. John Donkel's been there from the start. I think Marco Pullen as well. Dronig was season 3. Stappers, I'm pretty sure, was season 3, 4. And obviously Nico in this season 5. So good mix. We've seen quite a few drivers come through. Unfortunately, Peter Phillips, I think he's one of the early guys as well. The first starter, Hans van der Berg, started this season 5. Seb Bogart, Baz de Breen, have been there from the start as well. But a lot of other faces coming in, and it really does move it up. And the other thing to mention as well now, as we've got a little bit of time on our hands, is F1 Tonight UK.
Oh yeah, what's that then?
What's that then? Well, we seem to have a pretty good roster of drivers. They are growing, and hopefully some of those guys will be watching the stream as well, so they've got an idea of what to expect. Some practice runs have been done, but I think there's a real good vibe and a real good energy around F1 Tonight UK.
Yeah, it seems to be buzzing quite a bit actually with the little WhatsApp group that we've got for the UK drivers. It's good. It's positive, and looking forward to the start of the season. 3rd of September is the first race.
Yep, 3rd of September. Mark that in your calendars. That'll be the first race for FOT UK.
This has just picked up a 3-second penalty. Cutting corner in the S's.
That is not good. That is not good, but he's still looking pretty safe. 10 seconds is now the gap to his teammate. 12 seconds is the gap between him and Damien Hartman. So he's 9 seconds. As I said, he's eked it out, and he's closing down on Boy, isn't he?
Yep. Yeah, it's coming down. It's although their last lap actually, both Boy and Nicky's laps were pretty much identical, 35.6s. Compare that to a 36.5 from Blaney behind them.
Yeah. Well, 11 laps are still remaining for this race. You can see now. I still think Nicky's going to get it, though, I've got to say.
Yep. Yeah, I'd have to. I'd be inclined to agree at this point now, but you don't quite know what's going to happen. The two. Well, I don't want to say too much, but something drastic may.
Forget about the commentator's curse, Adrian. If they're gonna DNF, they're gonna DNF. It's just that's it. Accept it.
All right, fine. The Mercedes could crash into each other.
Yeah, they could see contact, certainly. I mean, team orders I don't think will apply, but we'll see what happens. I think we've probably got about another 6 or 7 laps to see what happens there. But let's run through the field. So Nico Mahadra Singh, rookie driver, new to F1 tonight, first race. He's in the points. He's P10. He's still racing. Good on you, Nico. Let's see more and improvement as the season goes on. Then we have Mark Stappers, his teammate. He's in P9 for Sauber. So Sauber 9 and 10. Good points for them to be picked up. I think they're the only team other than Mercedes. Yeah, they are the only team other than Mercedes that will actually both be picking up points, both drivers.
Force India is still in.
Oh, of course, yeah, sorry, Force India. Yeah, Guido Ershine and Parker Pool. Sorry, do apologise. Yeah, so one of the three teams, not bad going, certainly. Then we have Marco Pullen, as we've just mentioned there, for Force India. He's currently P8. Marcel Dronig for Haas is P7. P6 is John Donkel for Renault. He's, well, at least he's picking up some points, but I don't think he's going to be too happy with how this panned out. The only saving grace, as I said, is that he is ahead of Marcel Dronig in the Haas, so from a constructor's point of view, they're starting to bite into that gap that Haas have, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. It's only a 2-point gain on them in this race, but it's still 2 points.
Yeah, well,
and,
it's better than 40.
Agreed. 3 races to go, and obviously 43 for a 1-2.
Yeah, so still, constructors still very much on the board, and Seb Bogart is, well, he's out, so it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. Then we have Guido Erschen for Force India. He's P5. I think he's looking for it's a solid P5 he's going to have here. We've only got 9 laps remaining. I'm pretty sure that's a solid P5 for him, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. It's a good performance from Guido. I'm glad he's got his sort of finding his mojo again. He lost it for a long period, didn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
Earlier on in the season, sort of 6 races in a row without scoring points.
I've got to say, Adrian, I think it might be worthwhile keeping an eye on his time, because he is on the ultra softs. He is only 11.5 seconds off the back of Sander Hermans, and Sander Hermans is on 16-lap-old super soft, so he's going to have to ease off or take easy. Do you think Erschen's going for that P4? I think he stands an opportunity.
Yes, he is. Yeah, he's the fastest man on the track at the moment by quite a way. Consistently setting purple sectors. No fastest lap, I don't think, at the moment. But yeah, it's definitely it's something like 2 seconds faster than the drivers around him. In fact, he's just gained 2.3 on Sander just now.
Indeed. So Guido Erschen is closing down to this man here, Sander Hermans, and I think he's got every opportunity to catch up. And I think there's a bit of payback here, because we saw Sander Hermans take that place from Guido Erschen earlier, and I think Erschen's like, okay, it's not going to work out that way, Sonny. I think I'm going to have another go at that.
Yep, got long memories. These drivers, something happens on lap 1, they won't forget it.
Yeah, I think it's got to be an F1 driver's favourite saying: "Vengeance is sweet."
Indeed.
So Sander Hermans is currently in that P4 position. Sorry, not Marcel Dronig, what am I saying? Dear me. Damie Hartman in the Ferrari is P3. He's now 16 seconds off Nicky Visser. Where did it go wrong for Damie, Adrian? I mean, we saw his major competition come out early doors, Seb Bogart, and then obviously Hans van der Berg. I think he had a great opportunity. In your, I know what my opinion is and where he lost it. What's your opinion?
I think the soft tyres were the wrong choice.
Yeah,
I know
exactly.
why he did the soft tyres, because he had to do something different to the drivers ahead of him, which is fair enough. If you do the same thing, then you pretty much got to beat them on track. But yeah, he went for the soft tyre. I don't. It doesn't look like any of the soft tyre users actually have really benefited from it. Because you've got the likes of John Dongle, Marcel Dronig, Mark Stappers, and Nico, all on the softs at the moment, and none of them sort of lighting up the track.
Yeah, I've got to say, I totally agree with you. I think that is definitely where it cost him an eye. In my opinion, I think he should have gone on to the Ultra Softs, got ahead of the Mercedes, and then gone on to the Softs to close the race if he wanted to. That was the only option he had open to him, I think, pit stop wise, or number of pits. But I think that's what he should have done. I think he should have gone on to those Ultra Softs and then closed the race on the Softs. I think he would have stood a much better chance.
Yeah, completely agree. The fact that he was doing those laps though that were comparable to the super soft stint of Nicky. Well, so when Jamie was on the soft tyre, he was 0.6 per lap slower on tyres that were 0.6 per lap slower.
Yeah.
So he was doing a comparable pace. But had he gone on to the ultra soft, as you say, he would have been 0.6 a lap faster. Which means that, despite having to come in sooner, he could have been sort of that further ahead, and then could have gone on to the super softs for the final stint.
He definitely would have got ahead of Visser. He definitely would have got ahead of Visser and Boy had he gone on to those ultra softs. Obviously, the next question would be how would he fare in the final stint on the softs, but I think he would have had enough of a lead to stay ahead of them. I don't think it would have been a big lead, but I think he would have stayed ahead of them.
Yeah. But it's still a valiant drive from Jamie. He's going to be picking up 15 points here.
Exactly. He's
bringing
still going to be
down to 37.
Exactly. He's still picking up 15 points. 52 is the current gap. It would bring it down to 37. Bogart obviously not picking up any points, so he will be that bit closer. I mean, it's not a lose situation. It's definitely a win situation for him, especially as Bogart has picked up 0 points. But I think it could have been. He could have had 10 more points. So rather than 37, it could have been 27, which would have been, really major. But it is what it is, as they say. So Nicky Visser is currently in that P2 position. He's 8 seconds off the back of Williamson. He is closing down now to Boy. I'm sure of it because I've been looking at the gaps there. Question is, can he close down enough in his closing 5 laps? I think he could, because 15 lap old Ultrasofts ahead of him, Boy Williamson, they're going to be dropping right now. He's got an opportunity to do 2 seconds a lap, I reckon. He's probably going to catch up with him around about lap 53, 54.
Yeah, Nicky's gained half a second a lap for the last 3 laps in a row on Boy. So yeah, this is the period now when Nicky has the advantage again.
Now the question is, these guys are definitely going to be wheel to wheel, certainly when it comes to the close of this race. What's going to happen?
Let me just get my crystal ball and tell you.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've seen obviously team orders being applied earlier on, but I don't think we're necessarily going to see that in the closing state. I mean, Boy Williamson is race leader. Let's not forget, he started P14. That's 13 places from P14 to P1. I mean, that's an outstanding drive from Boy.
Yeah. He started last, and he's currently first with 5 laps to go. Yellow flags in sector 3. Who is that for? Oh, is that that's Nico letting someone past, I think.
Yeah, I think it was.
But Boy Williamson again. It's hands down contender for driver of the day at this current rate.
I totally agree. Yeah.
And respect to him for he's done a really sort of, dare I say, ballsy strategy, because he's done the super softs onto the ultras and then onto the ultras again.
Yeah, it is.
That is a very aggressive strat.
It is a ballsy strat, definitely. I mean, it is paying. Whoa! As he does a 4-wheel drift round turn 6 there. That was not good. Now you can see, he's lost about a good half second on that. Nicky Visser's now closed down a little bit more. 7 seconds is now the gap. 4 laps remaining. He's not going to close him down, actually. I thought he was going to catch him up around about sort of following lap or 54, but this is going to be right to the end. 6.5 seconds now is the gap, but
I think Nicky has closed down. I have done some sort of tyre tests of my own just to see sort of how far you can push a tyre and how much the last few laps, how much slower they are than your sort of optimum lap. And yeah, the time does sort of rapidly fall away, like in the last sort of 2-3 laps of the tyres. Like you could be sort of literally 5 or 6 seconds lap slower on those last couple of laps. You just pushed them that bit too hard.
When he goes wide again out of 19.
So the lap time's like 37.8 from Boy.
It's still 6.5 seconds. I think he's still maintaining a gap. I don't think Nicky at
35.7.
this pace, he's not going to catch him.
35.7 from Nicky. 2.1 faster. 2.1.
You know, 3 laps remaining. It's going to be, if it is, it's going to be on that final lap. He's going to catch him, but it's going to be on lap 56.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think team orders will be a part of it. Team orders came into play earlier on because they were on different tyres.
Different strategy,
time,
yeah.
Boy was on the Ultras and Nicky was on the Super Softs.
And Guido Airshine, in the meantime, has got past Sander Hermans. That was on lap 53. So Ershine moves up to P4. Sander Hermans drops down to P5. Still respectable though, whichever way you look at it.
Yep. Yeah, big time. I'm a big fan of Sander Hermans.
Yeah, and I've got to say, you know, he's consistent. He's delivering consistently at this moment in time, and yeah, definitely he has improved by leaps and bounds this season 5, hasn't he?
Yeah, confidence has come a long way since we saw him at Abu Dhabi last season. But it's an exciting drive to watch. The driver ahead of him actually, Guido's just done yet another purple sector.
Yeah, and he is flying.
Still the fastest man on track.
He is flying, and I've got to say, he's well, if he maintains that, he's going to be picking up a few extra points next season.
Yep. Oh, actually, no, he's not the fastest man on track. Nicky Vista's the fastest man on track. 35.3 that last lap.
Oh, and who's that on the side there? Somebody parked up on the side. Not too sure who that is, actually. That was very odd. Somebody parked up on the side there, but Nicky Visser is now 5.5 seconds off the back of Boy Williamson. 2 laps remaining. Let's get rid of that because it's not Guido Urshan. Right, so Nicky Visser is closing down, but he's still 5 seconds off the back of his teammate with 2.5 laps remaining, or 1.5 laps remaining. No, 2.5 laps remaining. Yeah.
Yes,
so he's lost. He's taken another couple of seconds out of him.
Yeah, about 1 second on that last lap. Yeah, it's difficult. Both drivers on the same ERS as well, same, not very much in either car, 20% or so.
It's all a question of whether Boy can keep those tyres together and get the traction out of them. That's what it boils down to now, isn't it? And if he does, he's done a fantastic job.
Yeah, he's done brilliantly. I mean, I would never have thought that strategy would pay off. I know there's still a couple of laps left to go. It's not over.
It's not over yet.
37.1.
It's his penultimate lap.
This is 35.8. That's 1.3 seconds gained there. 4 seconds gap. 2 laps to go.
He won't do it.
Don't know.
He won't do it. That's 2.6 seconds. He's currently 4.2. That means he'll be 1.8 seconds ahead.
But the tyres are still falling away.
Yeah, that is true. But they're still looking good. I mean, they are falling away, certainly, but not at that pace that you were expecting, Adrian. I mean, we're not seeing 2 seconds a lap plus, are we? We're seeing a second. No. So they are dropping, but not at the rate that you thought they might do. That they need to. Oh, he's gone onto the dirt there. Doesn't want to do that. He's definitely losing traction. He lost traction out of 11, went onto the dirt. You can see Nicky Visser now in the background. Oh, sorry, wrong one. So Nicky Visser is now in the background and if we stay on board with him, we should be able to see Boy just ahead, as you can see there on the track. So Nicky can now see that target. It is the final lap. 3.6 seconds is the gap at this moment in time. We'll get a better update on that once they come over the line. As he comes round turn 19, you can see his teammate going round turn 20 ahead of him. It's got to be a good 3 seconds there, I would have thought. We'll soon see. Yeah, 3.7 seconds is that gap. Can he make up that difference now in this final lap of this race 100, season 5 of F1 Tonight? Will Nicky Visser?
Boy's got 3 penalties. Boy's got 3 penalties, and Nicky's got 2. So the true gap is actually 0.3 right now.
Oh my goodness. So thanks for that update there, Adrian. So what we're saying here is that Nicky and Boy have both got penalties, but Nicky has a 3-second advantage, which means that cancels out. So it's actually 0.36 of a second. That's what he's going for. I don't know. Do you think he's going to be aware of that though?
He may be. They do talk to each other. They may. I don't know whether they keep that information from their teammates. I don't know, but it's possible. It's possible Nicky knows.
Well, he's got to.
By the way,
he's
still pushing.
He is still pushing, but so is Boy. Boy is equally pushing. He's going round turn 17 now. This is it.
One.
I think Boy Williamson is going to get it. He's going to be tight though, and he is really fighting that steering to keep that.
Oh, Boy's got another one.
He goes into the wall. He's lost it now. Comes round turn 20, and that is it. That is it. Nicky will take the win. Boy Williamson goes across the line, but Nicky Visser takes the win for Mercedes, and that was purely on those penalties.
Yeah, he went off, didn't he? Like 2 corners from the end to cut the corner. To be fair to Boy, I think Nicky would have done it anyway. He was less than 3 seconds behind him at that point. That was just Boy pushing so hard. But yeah, no, 100% driver of the day for me.
Takes 3rd place. Oh, definitely, yeah, definitely driver of the day, Boy Williamson, without any doubt whatsoever. So Damien Hartman takes P3. Guido Urshan coming across now. We'll take P4. Zander Hermans will take P5. John Donkel just coming round. Turn 17 now. Should pick up P6. Marcel Dronig. There he is, P7. Marco Pullen will be finishing P8. And Nico Mahadra Singh, well, he's finished P9 ahead of his teammate Mark Stappers, who finished P10. What a fantastic result for Nico.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, Stappers actually got about 12 penalties there, 36 seconds of added time.
So there we have it. Race winner for Mercedes, Nicky Visser. 2nd place goes to his teammate Boy Williamson, and 3rd place to Damien Hartman. I mean, I think Damien Hartman's still going to have a big old sigh of relief there. He's made your opponent out. He's still picked up 15 points. He's dropped the gap to 37. There are 3 races remaining. It could still happen, couldn't it?
Yep. Yeah, it could well do. Yeah, Damien would be happy with that. It won't be as happy, but it's 15 points off the gap.
Yeah, definitely. So it's going to be interesting, certainly, to see how this pans out. And well, again, also Baz de Breen, he hasn't got any points. Nicky Visser was 35 points adrift. He's now only 10 points adrift.
Yeah. Good day for Mercedes.
A fantastic day for Mercedes. Absolutely amazing, and they've really picked up some valuable points there, and that should push them up into P4. Yes, over Sauber, I believe.
Yeah.
So only 6 points was the gap. So they've pushed ahead now in the constructors, and they're up to P4 in the constructors. Well, what a fantastic race. Unexpected, certainly, with some of the drivers that went out early doors, but not unexpected, so to speak, when it comes to racing. We see it all happen. Next week, we are in Mexico, and that is a challenging track, isn't it, Adrian?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, some people like it, some people hate it.
I hate it. It's horrible.
I I don't mind it. I don't mind it. It's not one of my favourites, Mexico, but yeah, no, it's a bit like Monza. It's like a really flat, kind of boring Monza for me. But yeah, it's
I don't know.
yeah.
I think it's certainly got its thrills and spills, and especially in that final sector, I've got to say, especially, and then when you go through that stadium, it is absolutely amazing, that chicane through there. And it's great. I think it's a great place to spectate, certainly.
I was about to say it is spectacular, and also the like the winning celebrations and things as you come around the stadium section, the final on the final lap. Yeah, that is something to behold.
Yeah, definitely. Well, fantastic race this evening. That was race 100 for F1 tonight. Next week is race 101. We start over and we are at Mexico for the closing stages of this season 5. It is an nail-biter. It's still open. Anything can happen, and it normally does. So we hope you join us next week. Hope you've enjoyed it tonight as well. Join us next week. From me, it's a good night until next week.
And it's a good night from me. Thank you very much.
Good night, everyone.